Hey, Prime members, you can listen to Crime and Sports early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Download the app today.
In the depths of an Atlanta forest, a clash between activists and authorities ends in tragedy. I'm Matthew Scher, and on my new podcast, We Came to the Forest, we expose the hidden truths behind a shootout that left one activist dead and countless lives forever changed. Binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest ad-free on Wondery Plus.
Welcome to Crime and Sports.
Yay!
Oh, yay indeed, Jimmy. Yay indeed. My name is James Petrogallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Jimmy Wisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us on another crazy, wild, downhill insanity edition of Crime and Sports. And no different today. Today, we have a race car driver today.
Oh, fast.
Which they're always great because they're insane people. Mm-hmm. That have crazy episodes. We know nothing about it. It's a British guy, too. So when you get a foreigner and a sport we don't know, we're at our best, everybody. First of all, as always, we ask that you find our ignorance charming.
For sure.
And try to laugh at it. But, yeah, we're going to talk about some shit we have no idea about today, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And we'll find out what these guys are always scamming, scheming, lying,
It's unbelievable.
Something.
Yeah.
So we'll get into all that. First, before we do that, thank you for your reviews. They do help a lot. Wherever you're listening, whatever platform, please give us 5 stars and say something. Doesn't matter what you say. I was going to say something nice, but you don't even have to do that. You can just say
say something terrible.
I like this podcast. It still helps. So do that and say something. No, don't say something terrible. Then that won't really. People just be like,
awful.
what
If
the
they
hell?
Read it. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, do that.
The wrong star?
Yeah, why did they give it 5 stars? They seem to really dislike this show. Do that. Head over to shutupandgivememurder.com right now. Get your tickets for the virtual live show on May the 5th. Oh, my goodness. It's available for 3 days after that, 72 hours. You can order it and do all of that.
Boy,
and,
I can't wait.
We can't wait. It's a small town murder episode, just like a live show, except instead of a theater, it's going to be in your living room. The set looks the same. Everything looks the same. It's going to be a lot of fun. So get your tickets there. Shutupandgivememurder.com. And also Patreon. Patreon.com/crimeandsports is where you get the bonus stuff. Yeah. And for $5 or above, you're going to get access to everything. Crime and Sports bonus, Small Town Murders bonus, the whole back catalog, 100-something episodes.
Deal.
It's a pretty good deal. And this week, what you're going to get is 2 insane episodes. First of all, for Crime and Sports, we talked about the fabulous Moolah, who they did a very good Dark Side of the Ring about her. And there's a lot of more stuff out there, even besides that, of her nefarious actions with female wrestlers. She's like the female wrestling impresario that would train all the females. You had to go through her thing. And, oh boy, she allegedly abused some of those privileges, let's just say. And then for Small Town Murder, speaking of gross, we're going to talk about Jeffrey Dahmer and some very specific things about Jeffrey Dahmer, including how he didn't get caught, how he got caught, what happened then. There's a lot of weird things to focus on here that we're going to focus on. And as usual, you know how we handle those. Yeah. They're going to be a lot of fun and very gross. So
you know the story, so do we, so we'll give you what you don't know.
Patreon.com/crimeandsports, and you'll get a shout out at the end of the show as well. Jimmy will definitely mispronounce your name while trying to get it correct. So, okay, we need to get into this here. We have a British race car driver, which
terrific.
Every race car episode are those episodes that people go, I don't know, that was one of those where I didn't want to listen because I didn't know the guy, but then holy shit, those are always the best episodes, the crazy ones.
Fun.
They're so much fun. So we're going to talk about it here. We're going to talk about Victor Lee. Vic Lee. Vic with a C. Vic.
Oh, okay.
Vic Lee. He's not a Russian guy. Not Victor. Victor Lee. He is an Englishman, actually.
No kidding.
He was born in 1954, and I know zero about his upbringing. Zero.
Great.
It's not there for the taking. It's just not doesn't exist in the public record or anything like that, unless I called his mom, who I don't think is alive because he was born in 1954. Unless I
Yeah,
call
probably
his
not.
probably dead mother, I'm probably not going to get that. So,
Or in her 90s, and that's no fun.
Or yeah, she's going to be telling me that he once went horseback riding with Herbert Hoover or something. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Her made-up story would have been so much fun.
Yeah. I'm not going to make up the story here, but I would. Jimmy, why don't you tell me a story quickly? Just give me a backstory.
Englishman from 55, 54?
He's born in 1954, and he ends up a race car driver in like the late 70s. So fill that in for me. What's his first 20 years like?
What happened is in England, he got wind of the NASCAR circuit picking up steam in America and heard about the interstate revolution and how the rise of cars in America and the speed of them is incredible. He heard about the Hemi Cuda, so he picked one of those up and had that shipped over to England. And the people in England lost their minds because those tiny roads, he was going so fast.
Taking
they were
up
like,
both
you
lanes.
should certainly drive for a living, sir. And at 16, that's exactly what he did.
So his parents had a lot of money?
It wasn't that there was a lot of money to be had. It's that he stole things from Buckingham Palace and then fenced them over in Ireland.
Right from the palace.
Right, he was the cat burglar in the.
Whoa! And then in Ireland, they were just so mad at the monarchy that they were like, "I'll buy it and burn it, you fucking bastard!" Yeah.
He sold them at rock bottom prices. Yeah. It was amazing.
No, it's a big markup up there. Big
but
markup.
he took low prices because he hates the queen too.
So he's
tired of sending part of his money to this family to live rent free in this giant house. Okay. So
he's a Buckingham Palace cat burglar who used his fenced royal good money to
buy a Hemi Cuda and just
buy
burn
a
rubber
Hemi Cuda and just cruise along the English countryside, scaring
spinning
the
donuts
shit.
Around Big Ben, James.
People in Fiats pulling off to the side of the road, just Jensen Healy's falling apart as they go. Just the rumble of the Cuda. Takes their front fucking quarter panels off.
Look, Mom, Big Ben.
Oh, boy. Knocks out all the Jaguar's electrical systems. Hey, kids. Parliament, Big Ben. European vacation. So
he made.
I'll buy that. Sure.
I'll buy that like stolen, like pilfered royal goods.
Yeah, I'll buy it like an angry Irishman will buy a pair of the Queen's knickers to burn in effigy. For a marked up price. I'll do it. I don't give a fuck.
Those cars are so loud, it made those soldiers that stand still. It made them move. It made them get out of the way.
It did actually. So, I like this backstory. This is pretty good. He sounds like a real fucking...
He's a real menace, this kid.
Did he know the Royal Reaper at all? Did he know him? Was he a...
I'm not real sure, but I'm sure he's a familiar, but I don't know if they were pals.
I think after the Royal Reaper, he would have never been able to do this because the security was, I'm sure, tightened up immensely after a guy was taking a Grim Reaper sickle and hacking the fucking heads off of the royal family. I would imagine that they probably tightened it up. You wouldn't be able to steal as much, so... That's good that it happened later, and this guy was able to...
That was a fun one, too.
That really was a fun one. I like that one. I love making up a nice English backstory. That was a fun one.
England's a lovely place, I'm told.
It seems wonderful. Yeah, it really does. You know what? I don't even care. Yeah, it's taken us a minute to get into the story. Who cares? You know what? Who gives a shit? You want listen to last week, Ron Lyle. It's full of the whole story to story, whole time. Next week we have a crazy NFL player. It's going to be fucking wall to wall story. 2 weeks from now, Diego Maradona. So you know that's going to be holy. That's one of the more requested ones of all time. Yeah. So we're going to do that, and obviously we kind of have to do it at one point. I promised everybody. So you're going to have wall to wall stories. We're having fun today. You don't like it? Eat dicks. There you go. So. Anyway, he's born in England, 1954, and as Jimmy told you, he came up hard and fast. Driving Cudas, stealing fucking relics. He's doing it all, man. So somehow by 1979, he got into racing in the late 70s at some point, where he was like a guest driver. So he was kind of like an intern.
For like F1?
No, fuck no. For like these small little off racing things. He was like, he was like an open micer at that point. Like,
Okay.
Once in a while, he might get to host for an opener, or host for somebody half decent. So, like, he'll get to drive a car because somebody can't make it.
Like a souped-up Fiat? Like a street car? Yeah.
They're like, it's the touring series, the British touring car series. So it's basically like a lot of like Volkswagen GTI hatchbacks and shit like that.
Lots of sedans and shit.
Yeah.
Things you can buy on the dealership, but what's done to these you cannot buy there.
And souped up. And the BMW M3s are a big one too. That's
those are popular.
The big one. Yeah. Our guy here had those in his personal life. He loved those M3s. Shit. Yeah. Those are hot shit too. Those 90s, 80s,
Are they
90s
expensive
M3s.
over in England like they are here? Because that's a crazy expensive car for how small it is.
It's not just the
here.
import. The import, because they sell Beamers, they have BMWs that are $23,000 new right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Those two, whatever the fuck, are the real.
The small series. It's the
seen them.
325s or
no. There's one smaller than that. There's one
they have
smaller.
A 220.
It looks like a Prius. It's a real. I think that's what it is. Like a 210 or something. It's like a Datsun, like the BMW B210. So
it's a hilarious car. Why would you buy that?
It's a real, but it's because it's a $23,000 BMW. So someone that wants to look at a label that says BMW, they can afford to do that rather than just buying a Toyota that's probably got more features because BMW stripped it down to nothing.
Stop trying to impress people with your hood ornament because the numbers on the back make it worth nothing.
Yeah, that's the problem. So it's not just the import thing on it that makes them that expensive. It's that those are over $100,000. Those cars.
Yeah,
you can buy a fucking Ferrari for the same price as those BMWs. That's insanity.
But they're crazy.
They're so cool.
Sincerely, so cool.
They're really good cars. They're really nice. So there's some at 1979. He takes a break from racing. Okay. A break from the open mic circuit, as open micers do from time to time here. They'll take a break. They got a new job. They had a baby. There's no time to go out to the mics, So from a 5-year period from 79 to 84, he says because of, quote, business commitments, don't know what those were.
That is.
At 25, what kind of business do you have going on? Maybe good business if you're driving around Cudas. You got it all taken care of.
The pizza shop frowned upon the loud exhaust, so
I'm gonna have to hang them up for a while there.
A couple of complaints from the people I was delivering these to.
Yeah. So then in 84, he got back into it, I guess, and was actively involved with what they called saloon car racing.
I want to know what that is.
The regular cars.
Oh. They don't have like saloon doors for. I
was hoping that in a saloon car you have to have like a beer stein with you and be drinking at the same time. By like the 50th lap, it's just chaos out there.
Yeah.
Chaos.
A big mustache and a black garter belt around his bicep, mixing drinks in the back seat while you drive.
There you go, Chief. You just see guys. You'll see a car instead of going around a turn, it just stays straight, plows into the wall. Dude fell asleep while he's going. Just. It would be a terrible race.
The best race.
By the end of it, there'd be 2 people left, and they'd be trying to hit each other with their cars.
Yeah.
Like, just, fuck, I missed going because they're so drunk they forgot they were even in a race.
As long as there's cement barriers around the side of it, I kind of want to watch that race.
From a distance, yes.
From my television in my living room.
From a distance, I want to see that race. I want to see, like, how guys play rec league softball except racing. Oh, you hit a single, that means you got to chug a beer. Like shit like that. Oh, you won the first lap, that means you got to chug a 20-ouncer. Let's go.
I think that could be done because Red Bull just had 2 guys fly planes, put them into a nosedive, and jump out of the planes and try to swap planes and recover them. One guy missed the other plane and it just crashed into the fucking desert. That seems reckless. That seems dumb as shit.
When we're jumping out of planes where no one else is doing it, I think we've run out of things to do. We're bored.
If we can do that, we can certainly get Tony Stewart liquored up on a closed track somewhere off in the desert.
That's true. I think we can.
I'm willing to watch that.
Think about where we've gone in 100 years in terms of public spectacle. 100 years ago, a guy would stand on top of a flagpole. And that was a public spectacle.
Yeah, that's true.
A crowd would gather. Now you have to fucking crash 2 planes and have guys try to swap out of them for anybody. And even then, it's like, I saw that video for like 3 seconds. Fuck those guys. They made planes fall from the sky, man, and we don't give a shit.
They
awesome.
ghost rode a fucking plane and then tried to swap them and then missed it, so just pulled his chute and let it crash in the fucking desert.
God.
But people used to like get into a like the daredevils would get into like a whiskey drum and roll it off of off a waterfall. And now it's this shit. This is
different.
If you told the Wright brothers that shit, they'd be like, "Oh, shut it down. We are not going to design this."
We've run out of ideas, is what it is. We're like, hold on a minute. What if we're in the sky, right? Hold on. Follow me. I'll jump out of my plane. I'll just let it go, right? No, nosedive that shit. No autopilot, nothing. Just nosedive that shit. You do the same. We'll
Kill
switch.
the motherfucking engine. Let gravity take it.
What do you say?
We're going to beat it. I'm going to jump out. I'm going to beat that plane.
Yeah.
I'm going to get inside it and recover
No
it.
problem.
Watch this.
In the 80s, that would be called an aerial Chinese fire drill. In the 1980s, that's what would be called. If that happened in the 80s, that would be the headline.
It's horrible. It's I can't believe I watched it like an asshole, and when it didn't happen, I knew it wasn't going to happen.
It doesn't seem like it. Seems like that sounds like all of Evel Knievel's jumps. Like, so you're going to take a dirt bike and you're going to jump a canyon with it, and you're just going to land it perfectly, and then you're going to have dinner later. You made dinner. Right. You made reservations after this. No, your reservations are going to be in the hospital. What are you talking about? What are you talking about, dude?
Reserve room 12 in the emergency ward, because that's where you'll be.
Yeah, what would you like strained through your fucking IV and injected into your body? 'Cause that's how you're going to be eating dinner when your face is broken.
And it was every time. Did he land one fucking jump?
No, he was
not
terrible.
one, right?
No. He was just crazy enough to do it. He didn't actually pull it off. That's the thing. He never actually did it.
Right.
It'd be like if there was a running back in the NFL who never gained a yard, and he was tiny and weak, but he just kept running into giant guys who would hurt him all the time, and he'd be out for a season, he'd come back the next season, get tackled once, and he'd be out again. It'd be the same thing as if we did that.
And they hype it up.
Yeah. He's back, everybody.
I've seen Evel Knievel land him, but the landing shatters his fucking body, and then the bike falls over, and he slides and tumbles.
It's not the fit.
He's a crash test dummy.
He never had a scientist. I heard of somebody, I can't remember talking about. There was no one ever checked this over. It was the joke, basically.
No engineer?
It's very true. No, he never had a physicist out there going, no. Nobody with a measuring tape trying to figure out if it worked. I can't remember whose joke it was, but it's a funny joke. Not mine, is what I'm saying.
The force is going to explode your spine. And it did.
And your hips and everything else. Yep, that's going to happen. But God damn it, it's on television. It's going to be on ABC.
Was it fun
tonight.
to see.
And the shit would get ratings, too. Yeah. So they did like a closed circuit Evel Knievel shit back in the day. People paid money to watch
several of them. Yeah.
It's crazy. So now he comes back, like I said, to be involved in the saloon car circuit. And then he was looking forward to trying to compete at a higher level. And he ends up in touring car racing. And they just talk about everything that mentions anything about touring car racing, British touring car racing, just talks about how it's the most glamorous of all of it and all this type of shit. I don't see any glamour in racing a Volkswagen Golf around for fucking 4 hours. I don't see what the glamour is in that. I really don't.
The video game
you're
Gran
delivering
Turismo.
pizza.
Yeah, that was so much fun to watch, though.
Oh, yeah.
And play, you know what I mean?
Oh, that was a lot of fun.
I get it. I just don't. I guess it's the relating, you know what I mean? Like the audience can relate because they have that car, too, and they drive it every day to work. Whereas I don't know what it feels like to drive a fucking NASCAR, you know?
No, that's true. Drive a stock car like that.
Yeah, I've never driven an F1.
At the same time, though, they're in a circle. That's the part that I don't get. If it was like, we're going to run this guy's route to work every morning and see how that would be fun. You know, that's a race I want to see. Like,
you know
what I mean? Like through the freeway traffic, get off on this and go to here, and then there's a bus stop, so you got to wait for those people.
From San Jose to Mountain View, let's watch it.
Let's see what you got, motherfucker. It's a 45-minute commute. See if you can get there in 35. See if you can give me Pop-Tart time in the morning, because that's what I'm looking for. Just time to throw a couple Pop-Tarts down. Do it up.
You better show up with a caramel macchiato, too, because I stopped for coffee.
Oh, there's no time for that. We're cruising. So this is the explanation of touring car racing here that's given on the internet. Okay. Touring car racing is a motorsport racing competition with heavily modified road-going cars, like we said. It has both similarities and significant differences from stock car racing, which is popular in the United States.
Right.
Because essentially the stock cars they're supposed to be like the body of a regular car.
Right,
That's the thing. It's like, look, in the 90s, it'd be like, yeah, it's a Chevy Lumina. It's like, no, it's not.
No, it's not.
No, it's not a Chevy
That's
Lumina.
metal tubes with a fiberglass stamp of Illumina over it.
Over it with a goddamn jet engine inside of it. It's not aluminum.
With a bananas motor.
Fucking ridiculous. So while the cars do not move as fast as those in Formula or sports car races, because the Formula One, those things go 190 fucking miles an hour. They're
oh my
insane.
God, 220, 240, they're crazy.
That's insanity. It says their similarity to both one another and to fans' own vehicles make them make for entertaining, well-supported racing. So there you go. You're absolutely right.
To it.
Relatability. The lesser use of aerodynamics means following cars have a much easier time passing than in open-wheel racing, and the more substantial bodies of the cars make the subtle bumping and nudging for overtaking a much more acceptable part of the racing.
Yeah.
A lot of rubbing. So a lot of rubbing and tugging going on over here. It's not good.
That's
try
why
not
people
to do it
love
on.
Dale Earnhardt. That's what he did. That was his. I mean, more or less, he was the bad guy. He was the villain on the course that would nudge people out of the way, spin them out, and.
Is that like what is the attraction? Is that like a road rage fantasy camp or something? Like people are like,
Rubbin's racing, James. That's what it is.
I want to bump people out of the way when I'm going to work in the morning too. God damn it! I ate an extra Pop-Tart and I'm late.
I don't know why people want it, but they love watching it. Perhaps it's just because the spin of another car at 200 miles an hour is pretty fucking amazing to watch. But when they hit that dirt and that thing goes asshole over elbow, you can't.
Jesus
That's
Christ.
Horrible. That's terrifying to watch.
Yeah.
You can murder somebody.
They get mad at people for throwing baseballs at a guy's ass or lower body while he has a helmet on. They're like, oh, he's a Jesus, he should be banned from the game. This is fucking death sport. You can't do this. This is like Running Man.
Murder.
Yeah, that's like Running Man. If someone intentionally spun you out on the road and you did that, they'd be charged with so many crimes. That's definitely not legal.
Yeah. Certainly.
That's so fucking crazy to be like, what are you going, $190? Let me make you crash. What are you, fucking crazy?
Pit maneuver a guy.
Wow. So they say that, where is it here? Oh, as well as short sprint races, many touring car series include one or more endurance races, which last anything from 3 to 24 hours. Oh, boy, as we've talked about those. Yep. And are a test of reliability and pit crews as much as car driver speed and consistency. So, yeah, you can't fuck up for 24 hours. That's a lot. Right. It's a long time to do everything perfectly correct. Touring car racing started in the mid-20th century as a long-format style of competition that took on public roads between numerous towns. That'd be cool. I'd like to see cars race on the road like that and not have it be like the Formula Ones or something, regular cars. I want to see it through
fucking San Francisco and see you launch a goddamn M3 over one of those hills.
I want it to look like Grand Theft Auto. I want it to where you can do that.
Cruising USA.
Yeah, Cruising USA. Yeah. Fucking fly. I meant Grand Theft Auto, one of the ones that had the hills. I think 5 you can do it. That had you just launch off these hills and you fly all the way to the next intersection, basically, if you're going fast enough.
Yeah.
It's fun as shit. So anyway, it's started in the mid-20th century, blah, blah, blah. The legacy of these beginnings can be seen in modern touring and GT cars. The driver sits offset from the center line of the car and there's space for a second seat, although they're rarely fitted anymore. Yeah, why would you have the weight of a second seat? Right. While rules vary from country to country, most series require the competitors to start with a standard body car, but virtually every other component may be allowed to be heavily modified for racing, including engine, suspension, brakes, wheels, tires. Yeah, it's just keeping the body of the car.
Right, yeah. Maintain integrity of that, and then outside of that, do what you want.
What you can fit under the hood of a Volkswagen Golf.
Yeah.
So that's your basic your parameters.
Yeah.
Regulations are usually designed to limit costs by banning some of the more exotic technologies available. For instance, many series insists on a control tire that all competitors must use, so everybody has the same tires, and keep the racing close, sometimes by ballast weight, where winning a race requires the winner's car to be heavier for subsequent races. Wow, Jesus Christ. That is weird. They say that they're talking about comparing it to NASCAR. And they say prior to the 2001, the British touring, fucking whatever the hell it is, touring car series here, was contested by cars built to 2-liter super touring regulations. A little tiny fucker, 2 liters, like a Volkswagen.
2-liter motor, yeah.
Yeah, and had its heyday up to 9 different manufacturers. Joachim Winkelhock. Oh, well, if he said it. I'm with bated breath, Jimmy. I'm waiting to hear.
I trust it already.
What Joachim Winkelhock said, stated on several occasions that it was the best touring car championship in the world, and many champions of that era now race in the World Touring Car Championship. Well, then, aren't you fucking cocky about it?
I'll bet this gave rise to the 2-liter motor being so popular around the world.
It has to be, because in England, I know, and I don't know much, but we have seen a lot of in-betweeners. Yeah. When his friend comes over with that car, fucking football friend there. No, not the...
Oh, the nice one? Yeah.
Not the... It's a Cinquecento Hawaii, not that one. The fucking football friend when he picks Jay up and he's like, oh, your rides. They're all like, oh, man, look at that. It's like a fucking hatchback that if you pulled up to an American high school in it, people would be like, that's cool, you got a car. You know what I mean? They wouldn't be like, oh, man, that's awesome. Where over there, those type of souped up little cars are hot shit. They have smaller roads and all that sort of shit, just different, whatever. So, anyway, they've tried to make them more and more like regular cars over the years. I think they've realized that's their bread and butter as far as you can't have anything too souped up because then it's doesn't relate to people or whatever. So in the 1980s, Vic is doing some kind of side racing, and he gets a job as the general manager of an Audi Volkswagen dealership of Dartford. In
what year? 1980?
The 80s.
Oh, 80s, okay. Somewhere so around 30 years old, yeah.
Yeah, around 30 years old. GM of an Audi Volkswagen dealership.
Very cool.
Which we have had very few athletes that at age 30 are managing a car dealership.
Right.
That's usually when they're doing well or in prison at age 30, either one.
Yeah, right. Being a part of a dealership at all is usually after they've been released from prison and they're selling a car.
And they need a job, also. Yeah. They need a job, like David Vaughn Jr., I think it was, who was doing that exact job.
Oliver Miller also.
He was, he was working at was it like a Chandler Toyota dealership or something? Or
like the Auto Mall or some shit?
Yeah, like on the auto. What does he do? Just stand there and fucking, you can see him from the road because he's so huge?
He's like the wavy arm thing?
Yeah, they just use Oliver Miller. He just waves at people because he's 6'11" and weighs 400 fucking pounds. You can see him from space.
Was that Oliver Miller or one of those wavy arm things?
I think it had to be Oliver. Those wavy arm things are skinny. It had to be Oliver Miller. Had to be Oliver Miller. So,
behind the closed doors of government offices and military compounds, there are hidden stories and buried secrets from the darkest corners of history. From covert experiments pushing the boundaries of science to operations so secretive they were barely whispered about. Each week, on Redacted, Declassified Mysteries, we pull back the curtain on these hidden histories. 100% true and verifiable stories that expose the shadowy underbelly of power. Consider Operation Paperclip, where former Nazi scientists were brought to America after World War II, not as prisoners, but as assets to advance U.S. intelligence during the Cold War. These aren't just old conspiracy theories. They're thoroughly investigated accounts that reveal the uncomfortable truths still shaping our world today. The stories are real. The secrets are shocking. Follow Redacted, Declassified Mysteries on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Redacted early and ad-free right now on Wondery Plus.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. I'm going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles.
A big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud.
Sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
with a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.
God damn it. By the way, my brain right now is infected with British accent because not proper, not like Downton Abbey British accent, but real regular people British accents, because we've been watching this show called The Cabins. Have you ever seen this show?
No.
Bro, it's fucked, man. It's
plural cabin?
Cabins, it's called. The Cabins. It's this show where they take people and they fucking put them in a cabin, right? Two people. There you go. Whatever you're into, man, woman, man, whatever. They stick them in a cabin together.
A couple. Okay.
A couple.
Sight unseen?
Sight unseen. You're in here. You walk in. One of them walks in, and it's like a nice cabin kind of out in the woods and shit. But like a nice clearing. There's a hot tub outside. There's like 3 of these cabins lined up. And they walk in, the first person, they got all their shit. They're like, oh, wow, this cabin. And then just somebody else shows up, and that's your person. Mm-hmm. And what's weird about it is reality shows, normally there is a crew around. There's sound guy, producer, there's all this different shit. In these, they go in there, and it's all done by remote cameras, and everything's mic'd. So there's no crew. So the people can actually talk to each other. But nobody fucks. It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. Basically,
you guys are trying, right?
No.
What?
Every day by the end, every morning you get a letter and and it says are you going to stay another day, or are you going to check out because you hate each other? Or are you going to check out because you're ready to be a couple? What are you going to do, right? And they have to decide every day what they're doing. So they'll stay another day, and we're going to see where it leads, and we're going to stay another day. I like you, you sort of like me, blah blah blah, and they have to have this conversation.
It's a forced date.
Forced date. It's Stockholm syndrome. We're going to stick you in a fucking room together, but these people. Nobody fucks, man. And they're allowed to use their phones and talk to their friends too, which is ridiculous. So they're in the next room, I don't know, she likes me, it's we're talking and she's cool, but I don't know, what she literally she's not responding to me. And then the girl's in the other room and she's like, I don't know, he seems nice, he's tall, he's handsome, and they're going back and forth. They're in separate rooms talking to other people about, I don't know. Hang out with each other, you fucking morons. How about that?
Yeah.
There you go. Maybe you
make
can
him
see.
a drink. Make her a drink.
I don't know how I feel about him. Well, you're talking to your friend. You're not going to figure it out there. This is the problem with human beings now. I've seen him. He's nice, isn't it? He's dude, that's the problem. Everybody now they're like, and this is everybody. They do something, and then rather than just going with any kind of flow, they stop and then analyze the fuck out of it.
You gotta go talk to friends about it and see how they feel.
What? But you don't know. Just go. Stop. Everyone, stop overanalyzing shit and have a good time and live your life. People are fucking.
Well, it's
driving me
either
nuts.
that option, or they have the option where there's the TV show about British people going to the doctor to see what's wrong with and all of it's just sexually transmitted things that are all over.
Of course, yeah. So maybe it's
so
good
they
that
were
they're not
fucking for a while. Maybe that show ruined their fucking.
It's younger people fuck less.
Yeah,
these 20-year-olds are I don't know, maybe we could be romantic. We're gonna have to hang out for a couple weeks to see if it can get romantic. It's what are you talking about? We're gonna have to be best friends first, and then if I talk to him, he likes my mates, and I like his mates. It's no, what are you talking about?
Try it on.
Fuck each other and see if it works.
Try it on before you introduce them to your friends.
Yeah.
Jesus.
It's so strange now. We're gonna be best friends first. No, you don't. To be attracted to each other and see what else develops. Or the opposite, but you don't have to always wait like this. I don't know.
It's a fascinating situation.
It's so weird. There's people where they're I'm sitting there with Sarah and we're just fuck already. Jesus Christ. See if you've been making out for 3 days. You've been in the hot tub.
Oh, Jesus, they're touching?
Dude, there's one bed. There's one bed. So that's part of it. At the end of the first day, they're they have to figure out the sleeping arrangements. So some of the people will be well, you take your half, I'll take my half, and we'll just, we'll put his pillow down the middle, haha, we'll make it like camp, and they'll laugh about it. And then some of the people, the guy will be like, oh, I'll go sleep on the couch. And the girl's like, yeah, that'd be best. And then they're...
so appreciate it.
Half the time, the guy's sleeping on the couch and the girl's in the bed, and then half the time they're sleeping together. Sometimes they're like making out in the bed, but they're not fucking. It's the weirdest
That's
shit
bad
ever.
TV.
It's so fucking weird, dude. It's the weirdest show. I don't know if it would be good if it wasn't British. It's just the fact that they're British, and I'm loving watching all these British people try to figure it out. It's just so funny.
I don't think that America would allow that. Like,
No.
I think the guys would just be like, so are we going to fuck tonight or what?
Yeah. Well, there'd be producers going, you got to ask her to fuck, man. Seriously.
Yeah.
Like, we need like a hard cut on commercial, too. In England, the reality shows are, and there are ones that are, ridiculous, but they're allowed to breathe a little bit. There's not
people.
They're not just such hard cuts with like, this music and all this shit. Just look at Kitchen Nightmares, American and British, and they're a completely different fucking show, and it's the same thing happening. So when you look at those things, that's how we handle reality, and that's how they
Whereas
handle it.
WeTV's like, how are we going to sell this to Pepsi if you don't knock that guy that you've never met out in the right in the fucking street?
Punch him in front of cops. What are you, a pussy? Punch him in front of a law enforcement establishment. Just knock him out and then get in your car and drive away. That should be fine, right?
Call him a pussy in a weird Texas street accent that you are not street at all. It is the most fucked up thing I've ever seen.
I want to see the people from Love After Lockup, not the people that like meet and know each other, but just prisoners and regular people put in these cabins together. That's what I want to see. Love After Lockup meets the cabins. That's what I want to fucking see right there.
You think you're free? You're not.
You're not. You're stuck in the cabin with this broad. That's what I want to see. Because that would be amazing, because they get in there and it'd be like, so why are you here? And he'd be like, I stabbed a bloke. I cut him. I cut him good. And she'd be like, oh, that's nice, isn't it? Yeah. All right.
Or that other chick popping in. What were you in for? I loaded a spike of heroin into a man and he died. So what do you want to do today?
So you making dinner or am I? Because that's the other thing. It's like fully stocked with food and they have to cook and shit. And like, they have to basically like you're a couple that lives together right now. And there's no one else around. Sight unseen. Can you get along or are you going to kill each other or what? So
throw some danger in there. Let's get some inmates.
I want an inmate in there. That's what I want. I want that show so bad now.
Even if it's just one as a wild card cabin, that's the one I want to watch.
That's what I mean. This is your halfway house, mister. This is how it goes. You're going right.
You're paroling to the woods.
Yeah. I want you to still have like your box with your prison shit in it when you pull up to the cabins, like right from jail in an Uber. You don't even get to see your mom. Just you go right from jail in an Uber. You pull right up to the cabins. You're like
anybody from this season's perfect, because this season of Love After is fucking awful and it's great.
They've found the lowest.
How did they do it? How did they do
bottom. It? They've hit rock bottom, sir. In terms
season,
of the people, the show is entertaining, but I mean, in terms of the people, rock bottom. Yeah.
Worst people ever.
Hillbillies knocking each other out in the street. That's how they've gotten to now.
Guy just laying his chin out there.
Yeah. Live action Jerry Springer is what's happening.
I can't wait for that bonus. I can't wait. I'm going to have so much fun with it because I hate every single person the most.
It's amazing. Now I just want them all to be British, though. That's what I want. Real bad.
Nobody in Britain, nobody in England is this bad, right? There's nobody there that's that bad. They can't be. There's no fucking way they're like this.
They have to be. No? There's assholes everywhere, though. There has to be maybe a smaller percentage of the particular asshole we're talking about, but they have to exist. They have to.
So, but I want to see them. We got to get to England because I want to see what these fucking people look like there. Because I'm repulsed.
You said that like they were a strange race of pygmies that lived in the fucking jungles that no one has seen before. They're in Borneo. If you go deep into the forest land. There's a small group of tribesmen that no one has seen. As he said.
In America, they exist.
I want
But
to take a gander at them.
If there's a very small portion of them, they're somewhere. I want to find them. I will eat popcorn and watch them live. It's got to be horrific, right?
Yeah, because it's just like here, except with an English accent, making it much funnier. Making it way funnier. I mean, honestly, think about it. Think about the Small Town Murder Express we did this last Friday with the fucking trail. Imagine that with an English accent.
I can't.
You're fucking my daughter, aren't you?
I can't do it.
Gonna shoot you. It'd be fucking hilarious. Drunken one is what I was trying to do. I can't do it when I'm drunk.
I want to see it though. I got to see what is England's like, because I know in Australia they have them and they are really, really bad. They're bush people that are like, they call them bogans, and they're like, that's the white trash there. That's like, they're crazy. And
they're descendants of, we all know how Australia was formed.
Insane shit.
Yeah.
But does Britain
it's our
have
West Virginia.
that?
It's the same thing. I don't know if Britain has a West Virginia or not. I know that they're, and I love how British people right now are cracking up that we have no idea. We're making these assumptions and they just know. But I know like the North is considered like the trash land there.
Yeah,
like that's
away
where
from the beach.
The farther you get north is like the accents get more, away from that proper British accent, and that's considered like more of a trashy, quote unquote trashy thing in England. If you went to London, of that sort of shit.
Yeah, but what's the lifestyle? What do they eat? What do they drive? How do they live?
I'd love to know. What are your hillbillies like? English people, tell us about your hillbillies, please. And don't just say Scotland. We get that. I understand that's going to be. British people like to pick on the Scots. I get that. The English pick on the Scots. Okay, that's fine. Besides them,
who do the Scots pick on?
Who do they pick on? The Irish? Yes, I know. I get it.
All right.
But who does everyone pick on? Who can everyone punch down on?
And it's not a country. Like, where's the group, and where do they live, and what do they do?
Yeah, that's what we want to know. Who is your trash?
Who's the gross?
So I want all of this. God damn it. So anyway,
we gotta go there, James.
We have to. We have to do a show over there one of these days. We have to. It's people have asked a lot.
I'm booking a week, and I'm not leaving until I find that.
No, we're gonna wander and find shit. Australia, you're just too far. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We love you. It's it would take me a week to unfurl myself from a fucking plane ride that long. My neck would be so messed up. Like I can't do it. I just can't fly that long.
You'll look like a shirt that was folded and shipped. You never get the creases out of it.
I'm going to be a disaster. Like I just can't fly that long, and it hurts my neck. So across the United States, I'm fucked up for a week afterwards from my neck. So anyway, back to Vic here.
Mm-hmm.
He's managing an Audi Volkswagen dealer, like we said. Yeah. In June of '87, by then he's racing. It says Vic Lee, the current leader of the Monroe Production Saloon Car Championship.
Yeah.
He's killing it at this point. And Volkswagen Motorsports rally star Simon Davison will join forces. Oh, they're going to join forces.
Teaming up.
For Britain's only round-the-clock race, the Will Hire, Will Hire. So,
Willer, right?
Willer. 24-hour at Stedderton, Norwich, Norfolk on June 20th and 21st. So that was happening there. The apparently they're going to debut their Volkswagen Golf GTI 16 valve here.
Yeah.
It's gonna dominate, they're talking about here. But Vic says, quote, but 24 hours is a whole different ball game. Mm-hmm. So there's that. It's he's the general manager. They're talking. They quote. He's like they're trying to talk about. He's a star racer, and then they quote him and says Vic Lee, general manager for Audi Volkswagen dealer, White House of Darford. Like, if you heard, like, I think we're going to go out and whip the Packers this weekend. I'm going to throw 4 touchdown passes. Says the manager at the Dollar General. You'd be like, well, I don't want to watch that as much now.
Says head lube mechanic at Jiffy Lube.
Yeah. What? Says head tire changer at Sam's Club. Like, what are you talking about? I don't care. Vic apparently was the Uniroyal Tires Production Saloon Car Championship. Jesus Christ. Vic finished a third in his class in the Uniroyal Tires Production Saloon Car Championship. They said it was particularly hard fought with just 8 points separating the top 3 drivers. So he's at the top of his class of kind of lower level street Volkswagen racing in England. So,
but sponsored by Uniroyal, that's a big sponsor.
That's the race's sponsor, yeah. So he's doing fine there because I think they use the same tires, everybody. So somebody would sponsor that. October 1987, he wins a race here. And this article calls him a racing ace. Racing ace Vic Lee from Halstead has roared to victory in the 1987 Monroe Shock Absorber Production Saloon Championship.
God.
Not the Monroe Shock Absorbers. Oh, that championship's so prestigious. The Shockies, we all know that one. You win a Shocky, you're set for life, man.
I suppose that's to legitimize the race too, because I mean that's a huge shock brand.
Yeah,
they've got Uniroyal, and who was the shock brand again?
Monroe's the big one.
Monroe struts. Those are enormous.
I mean, I would think if you got a bunch of people, because think about the audience for this is probably a bunch of people who are into that kind of car, and they have those kind of cars, and they're probably putting different parts,
those shocks on it. Yeah,
so they're looking to buy shocks and tires, and that's probably a good group to really bump that toward. So they said he is 33 at this point, of Knockholt Road, took the title outright as well as winning Class C for cars up to 2,000 cc's with a total of 44 points after the final round of the series at Snetterton. I don't know what any of that means, but he
24 points sounds like a lot.
44.
Oh, 44.
44.
Holy shit.
It's like Barkley in Game 7 against the Sonics back in the day. That's fucking, that's a lot, man. That's like Jordan and MSG coming back with
that's a big day.
It's a big fucking day, man. So, Vic, and again, I had to put it right from the paper because of how it is here. Vic, the general manager of the White House Garage, Bexley, who races a VW GTI Class C for cars up to 2,000 cc, scored in 12 events of the 13-round championships, winning the class 6 times and 5 second places.
6 times?
So, 12 events, 13-round championship. Yeah, so 12 events, he did 6 firsts and 5 seconds.
Out of 11 times, he was either second or first.
Yeah, 11 out of 12 times. Yeah. It's pretty fucking impressive. That's not bad. He said, obviously, we're very pleased because Volkswagen were up against all the other makes like Ford, Toyota, and Honda. It's a big success for us to have won it. Yeah. So now he can go back and sell more of them.
Right.
I just want to race in a car like this. Maybe that was what they were pushing.
Is that the whole thing? Like he's racing for commissions?
I think maybe it is. Yeah, it was like anything above like their normal sales numbers for the month, he gets like a boost for his. I don't know.
He's clearly the reason.
He said it was really a very good year this year. Obviously, it would have been nice to have won both championships, but since fairy stories don't happen. However, it stands us in good stead for next season.
Fairy stories.
Yeah, he's
not fairy tales.
Fairy stories. I guess maybe in England they're fairy stories.
That's cute.
Yeah, it is. Well, it's really funny. Like on that cabin show, like they'll be sitting there talking, and the guy will just go to a girl. They'll be sitting there talking. He'll be like, "You fancy me?" It's just like, what? And that's totally normal over there, but here,
you proper fit.
If you sat, and even Love After Lockup, if they were sitting like in the car on the way home, and the guy's like, "So do you fancy me or what?" They'd be like, "What?"
No, instead, on the way home, the guy called his girlfriend fool like 9 times in the car ride. I was like,
"Come on, fool."
Dude, that's not romantic.
The one guy who got home and then yelled at the lady because there was like a dust of instant potato, like a speck of instant mashed potatoes on the stove. And he's like, "When's the last time you cooked here?" She's like, "I got you an apartment, motherfucker." There is furniture in this bitch. It's not even empty. It's not like there's a bed on the floor and there's a fucking TV over there on a box. I got couches and coffee tables and a fucking 2-bedroom apartment. You've been sleeping smelling some other guy's balls for the last 12 fucking years. You're going to complain about mashed potato flakes? I'll cut you, motherfucker.
You hear that hum? That's air conditioning, you piece of shit.
Hear that? Yeah, it's nice, right? Come check out this shower where no one will ever try to rape you in. Come on, follow me. It's really cool. I think you're going to like it. You fucking asshole. I was so mad at that guy.
You piece of actual shit. How dare you?
That was wild. And the look on her face was like, are you fucking kidding? Like, she had a look like, you're kidding, right? Like, if he burst out laughing, it would have been cool for the first 5 seconds, and then it went too far.
He's dead ass serious, this guy.
This motherfucker's for real. Holy shit. So, Vic here is hoping, because he said, we're in good stead for next season, because he's hoping for a new deal, for a big new deal to come up. He steps up to the British Touring Car Championship that year.
All right.
And team manager Colin Davids, which sounds very British, he and these two are currently trying to negotiate a new sponsorship deal. The price of he said at this point, the price of his success so far has been, quote, a big bank overdraft.
Oh,
so
nothing. Negatives.
Yeah, we need to get a better sponsor, so this will pay off.
Yeah.
That's the thing in racing is really expensive at any level. At any level, it's insanely expensive. I mean, take your car and fuck it up every week and then fix it and see how expensive it is.
First off, buy that goddamn car.
Buy that car, buy crazy parts, put it all in, then hire a bunch of people who have to fix it every week and then see what that costs you. It's really expensive.
Make it expensive and then destroy it and then pay people to make it expensive again.
Fix it again, yeah. That's what it is. It's so fucking crazy. So we get a lot of these stories of these racing teams, no one ever knows where the money's coming from.
Right.
Unless they have like a major sponsor or, some businessman has bought a team and, it's for a vanity project or something.
And he needs the write-off for the loss and all that shit.
Exactly. This is a good place to dump a bunch of money and set it on fire. Sure. I don't know how English tax system works, but at least this is a good time. So this is kind of, everybody always has a thing of where the money come from. So it's a lot like kind of the beginnings of NASCAR, except it's still going on. Any of these races, how many have we done? All these race car drivers are all scamming, scheming, smuggling, lying, fucking.
They're all shitbags.
They're all shitbags, these guys that we've talked about anyway. We have a very narrow focus here, so I mean, can't take that for everybody. So anyway, they're looking to do that. They said that they're trying to get different cars to be more competitive. They're trying to get them in better shape. They really want to do all this, and they think this series can work because there's TV coverages of it now. They said they signed a better TV deal, the Racing League. So they're like, with more coming out, we might be able to make this an actual business. Vic said it's an obvious progression of the whole thing. So if it's popular, if not, then not really. So he did really well. The last in the wheel hire 24-hour race, Vic won the Determination Award for best effort to finish. What does that mean?
It's a
race.
Yeah,
it's a race. It's not. There's no.
He tried the hardest though. He didn't win, but he tried so hard.
Everyone else was slacking off. They were texting while they were flying around the track. Like, what are you talking about?
He's shifting gears and hitting the gas.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. A race has first, second, third, fourth. It has all times. You're exact to the millisecond when you came in. There's no heart for that. It doesn't matter.
He tried the hardest. That's an award.
Wow. The Determination Award. Did he have one leg or something? Was that what they were saying? Somehow he put his leg from the gas to the clutch back and forth and still made it work. That'd be impressive.
Did he piss in his own lap? Did he just not stop?
It says despite 4 or 5 accidents during the whole night. 4 or 5 accidents. Imagine getting in 5 accidents in one day. He repaired the damage and went on to finish in 6th place out of 19 overall.
Not bad.
36 people started the race, 19 finished. So
wow,
50-50, and he finished sixth, even though he had 5 accidents.
Even though he almost didn't finish at all.
So that means everybody had many accidents.
Yeah.
That's what that means.
Or at least one really devastating one.
Yeah, it has to be. So now in the actual British Touring Car championship series here.
Yeah.
He races in 87. He's only in one race, and he wins it.
Oh.
So I think that was I don't know what race that was. Never mind. I almost said I knew, but I didn't. 88, he's in 9 races, has 0 wins, 0 podiums even. So nothing there.
Bad.
Yeah. And we'll go on here. 87 at the RAC Dunlap British Touring Car Championship.
Yeah.
He was on Team Demon Tweaks.
What?
Demon Tweaks Racing, which sounds like it emanates from a trailer park.
Yeah.
Demon Tweaks. We poop on the porch here in a bucket. God damn it.
We all got pock marks on our face because we pick a lot.
So, he does that.
I guess it's because they're speed demons and their cars are all tweaked up.
Yeah. But anything with tweak in the title is bad.
I don't like that at all. Yeah.
No. 87, still the 87 British Touring Car Championship Class C. That's his one win. That's also as a guest driver for the Demon Tweaks racing team. Again, he drove a Volkswagen Golf GTI again. 80, what is this? 88, I believe. No, 88. Yeah, 88. Here we go. Okay. 88, the European Touring Car Championship. So there's the British. There's the world that we've heard about, and I guess there's a European one, too. It's like the mid-level, I guess.
Okay. You mix a few countries, but not everybody.
Not everybody. He's in that. He races. He doesn't, I don't know what position he came in, but he didn't win or podium, that bitch. Okay. He drives a BMW E30 M3. So, badass looking. Cool looking with those little round headlights. Those badass looking cars. The engine is a BMW 2.3 in this. And then in 88, he at the RAC Dunlap British Touring Car Championships. He's driving a Toyota Supra Turbo.
Fuck yes.
Fuck yeah. I have a picture, and I'll post it on the social media. Actually, you can see I have it right here. What am I talking about? I'll show you, and I'll post it on the social media here. Yeah, roll over. Yeah. Get over here. All right. Check it out. Here's him.
Yeah, that's the straight edge one. Those are cool cars.
Fucking bitchin' looking cars. Yeah, here's him. It's smoke everywhere. He had to fucking slam on the brakes to not rear end this guy.
They're the
no
same
wonder why
color,
it's relatable.
Huh?
Yeah, they're all orange. Looks like they're all Supras. They're all orange. They all have the same logo. They all have the same like license plate thing in that Dunlap on the side. Different numbers, I guess. So anyway, there's that. He's driving the Supras. He has 8 races there for MIL Motorsport, and he doesn't win or pole or win or podium on any of those either. So not doing terrific there.
So he won one race in one season.
Yeah.
Won it. Didn't race any others. And then he actually won one in like 17 races.
There's no more races. No more even coming in like second or third or anything like that. The next up that's never mind. The 89 at the RAC SO British Touring Car Championship. This is Team Asquith Autosport, Trident Motorsport. He's driving a Ford Sierra RS 500 Cosworth. And I guess the engine is a Maserati Bit Turbo.
So they threw a Maserati motor in a fucking Ford?
I guess so, which is very weird. A Ford R, I don't even know what that is. One of those tiny European Ford. It's probably a Festiva, but over there.
It's probably like a Ford Probe or some shit like that, right?
That's true. Yeah, 89-ish maybe. Or it might be, like I said, it might be like a little Festiva, like those little tiny fuckers.
One? A little shit box with a Maserati in it?
Same size as a Golf, you know? I mean, who knows? I'd love to check. I have a picture of the Volkswagen coming up too. Okay. So, 1990. He's had so much obvious success here. I mean, he won a race in 1987, so he should probably step up to a next level here. He forms Vic Lee Motorsport.
Really?
His own company.
His own team.
His own team here. It's based in Springhead Enterprise Park in North Fleet, Kent, where he's preparing a bunch of cars for the British Touring Car Championship. A bunch of BMWs is what he's making. Okay. Putting a team together. He's got the money. GM and must be paying the bills. Wow. General managing a Volkswagen dealership must really be doing it for him. So
I can't fathom.
1991, the Vic Lee team won the 1991 British Touring Car Championship.
They won the whole thing.
His team won, not him driving, but his team, right. With driver Will Hoy, who then left the team for Toyota after its major sponsor switched to Toyota. So he said, I'll follow the sponsor. He is now, Hoy was second in that year's championship with Vic Lee's new driver, Tim Harvey, in third place. So he had guys in second and third place in the series. So that's not bad, both under him. That year, after his team won 2 races, the next race, they were starting to do so well, and people were pissed off because he's a new team.
Right.
So people were mad. And there was one race, I saw this actual video of them talking about it. It was really boring. We'll make it way more entertaining. But it's Vic Lee talking about how that year, and then these other drivers, they have this one driver. He looks like he's 60 years old, like Homer Simpson bald, you know what I mean? Like that. Like this 60-year-old British man, but in a full racing outfit with his helmet under his arm.
Yeah.
And he's complaining about the fact that the Vic Lee's team is their exhaust on their cars.
Yeah.
There's regulations for everything in racing. There is a decibel limit on what your exhaust can be.
Sure.
In racing. I didn't know that. Did you?
Yeah.
You know that?
Well, it depends. Every race has its different regulations, and I can see why they would have a decibel limit. If it's like this, it's a road race, and you're gonna have, if you take the muffler off, it gets louder, obviously. So you have to have a certain muffle, and that muffle also robs power from the engine. So if everybody's got a certain level they can be at, then everybody's got the same amount of benefit from the exhaust. That's the whole point.
That's what I figured. I figured it was some sort of performance issue.
Yeah, it's a horsepower thing.
You're not allowed to exceed 110 decibels. What
so you have to have a muffler, is what it is.
Oh yeah, you have to do it. Now, they were complaining that their muffler, their exhaust comes out under their passenger door there. It's a side exhaust rather than a back exhaust. So the tests that they're running, and they hold a little fucking...
Sure.
Looks like one of those ghost detectors that those idiots on YouTube use.
Yeah.
They hold that up, and it says how many decibels it is. Yeah. So they're saying because it's up there, they're getting noise runoff from the engine as well, and from a tin rattle under the door, some little piece of tin that's rattling that's also adding to it, and that's what's taking it over 110. That's the problem. So they have an interview with Vic Lee where he explains this. Then they cut to fucking Jeffrey Tambor, British style, in a full racing outfit, the whole coveralls with the helmet under his arms, and he goes, "It's just the rules, isn't it? It's just that's just the rules. You can't. It's not for anything else. We all have to follow them." And he's just very, very proper. We all have to follow them. And he's like, he sounds like he makes a noise a lot.
He was hip-hop's biggest mogul, the man who redefined fame, fortune, and the music industry.
The first male rapper to be honored on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Sean Diddy Combs.
Diddy built an empire and lived a life most people only dream about.
Everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Yeah, that's what's up.
But just as quickly as his empire rose, it came crashing down.
Today I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution.
I was up. I hit rock bottom, but I made no excuses. I'm disgusted. I'm so sorry.
Until you're wearing an orange jumpsuit, it's not real. Now it's real.
From his meteoric rise to his shocking fall from grace, from law and crime, this is the rise and fall of Diddy. Listen to the rise and fall of Diddy exclusively with Wondery Plus.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this white Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. We're going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles.
A big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud.
Sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.
It's fucking hilarious.
But you got to have the short exhaust also gives you a benefit because the motor's breathing quicker. If the longer exhaust, the longer the air has to go, it robs power also. Okay. So having short dump, like straight headers that just go right from the that's why hot rods have them dumping right out of the engine,
right off because it's behind the front tires.
Yeah, because it's a quicker dump. The motor's breathing easier. The longer the pipe, the less horsepower it has.
Yeah, I could see that. Well, I guess the other racers are saying that's the key to their success so far is this exhaust.
No, it's the short exhaust? Okay, yeah.
So they told them if they didn't fix it, they wouldn't be allowed in the race. And if they raced, and then afterwards the exhaust was tested and found to be too loud, after the race the team could be stripped of all the season's points. Okay. So they had to get it down to a certain level, otherwise they'd be fucked. And it was a whole big fucking thing. And it's so funny watching them try to do it and complain about it. Oh, God damn it, this isn't work. It's so funny watching these people try to argue you're hearing engine noise. And
there is nothing less interesting than an interview with a driver after a race or at all about just fucking race and shut up.
Well, I didn't die, and that's always positive. I didn't hit a wall head on.
Yeah,
that's the same
first
thing.
To the checker.
Same thing as asking someone, "How was the flight?" I'm fucking standing here, aren't I? Pretty goddamn successful, I would say. Pretty successful.
Yeah.
I didn't even have to parachute out and try to jump into another plane, so I'd say it was pretty good.
We went up, we came down, everything's safe. Here's my bag.
I'm alive. Yeah, I even have my clothes. This is terrific. Batting 1,000.
Even got my toothbrush. It's nuts.
Got it all. So anyway, that's the whole thing. They ended up doing this race. One guy thought his car was too loud, so they show the footage at the last second before he crosses the checkered flag at the end.
Yeah.
He fucking downshifts like a bitch and just pulls out, just crazy downshifting like crazy, and then pulls off to the side and doesn't finish because if he finished and then his exhaust was too loud, he would be penalized later on. So he had a teammate behind him and he let the teammate pass him and go, and then so they did all of that. Very smart move.
Yeah.
And
purposely,
then
quote unquote, broke down.
Yeah, he just pulled over, and then his teammate ended up failing the exhaust test and getting stripped of the points anyway. So just the whole thing was a disaster that day.
Everybody's too loud.
Everybody's too loud. Fucking up. It's pretty fucking funny. So 1992, Tim Harvey, who was one of his racers that we talked about, he picks up the title for the team in a BMW 318 IS. That's what he wins the whole title with, I guess, that year. He's the champion of the car. Yeah, this is 1992. So he's gone from managing a fucking car dealership to now, 6-7 years later, he has a racing team that won a championship.
Right.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Grace. That's grace, I think. Yeah. Yeah. They would quote him as general manager of the Audi dealership 5 years ago. And now he's winning.
Funny.
Now he's winning shit over here. So the problem is all of this is not financially rewarding so far. Even though he's winning and doing all this, he's also having...
Oh, it's costing him a fortune.
Yeah, to put together a good team, you have to spend money, and he doesn't have that kind of money to spend is the problem. So, he's pushing 40 almost. He's 38 years old or so, and he's trying to figure out he's got this team, this BMW team. He runs up debts of about 300,000 pounds at this point.
Shit.
Yeah, he's like, fuck. They're doing great, but it's costing him money every week. So what do you do at that point? You're successful, but you have to turn it into a business that works.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
That's a fascinating name for your currency, too, because with that kind of debt, it certainly feels like 300,000 pounds.
Pounds. You're getting pounded hard.
Feels like weight.
Right in the asshole. Pound, pound, pound. So he is pretty fucked on this. So he's trying to figure out how to put money together. And he figures out how to put money together.
Really?
And we later figure out how he figured out how to put money together.
Okay.
Well, we didn't figure it out, actually. Something called Operation Bounce figured it out.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
The British Federals figured this out, huh?
Yeah, they did, actually. The British Federales figured it out. Can't get anything least federale than British, I guess.
Yeah, Spanish-speaking Brits.
Yeah. I'm a federale, isn't it? Pulls you over. All right? All right. And then you roll the window up and drive away. All right. So, in this, what he was doing is he was testing a lot. They were testing their cars, running these, because you fix stuff. You put shit in, and then you got to test it. You have to run it and test it.
Yeah.
Well, check the times. Is that faster now? Is it, did that help? Did it hurt? They kept going to test at Zandervoort in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
So they kept having to put all their shit on the fucking, take it to the Netherlands and ship it back and forth. They're doing it like by boat half the time. And
sure.
It's a big pain in the ass. All your racing shit, all your guys, everything, you'd have to go over there. It's very expensive to keep going over there and doing that.
Yeah.
So they're like, why the fuck would you do that? Like, he's complaining of money troubles, and no wonder why he's having money troubles. He's constantly testing in Holland.
This feels expensive.
Really weird. So he said, man, how can I make this work monetarily? How can I do it? Well, if I pack all of my shit with cocaine on the way back from Holland, I can make up the difference of what it costs to go over there, which is true, I would say. So this happens in 1992 in September. Operation Bounce closes in on him here. Cocaine it was 41.4 kilograms of cocaine.
That's a lot.
So a kilo is 2.2 pounds. So there you go. That's a shitload of coke, man. That's a lot.
He's got thousands of it?
He's got 41.4 kilograms is what he's got.
Okay. So 85 pounds of shit.
That's a lot of fucking coke is what he's got here. So there's a giant article. They say it's worth an estimated 6 million pounds. And
that'll get me out of debt.
That'll do it. That's what I mean. Yeah. This will work. It was worth that. They said it was found in a trailer belonging to their racing team coming over. The customs investigators believe this has been a giant thing. They're like, they're using racing as a cover. This has been going on for a while, probably.
Genius.
Trailer was transporting a BMW racing saloon owned by Vic Lee Motorsport here, and holders of the British Touring Car Championship title, as a matter of fact. It even says right in the paper. Vic Lee, former racing car driver and car salesman, was one of 10 people being questioned by customs officers. He had a whole ring, man.
Can't shake that day job. God damn it.
Fuck. The sentence before is they have the paragraph before, they're the champions. And then they're like, former car dealer, this bum. Shit, man. Customs officers who intercepted the vehicle on the Olau Line Ferry Terminal at Sheerness, Kent, discovered it contained 41.4 kilograms of cocaine concealed in gas bottles for the hydraulic loading ramp.
Okay.
That's how they did it. In the hydraulics, they said they also use these hydraulics for pit stops to jack the car up real quick. Mm-hmm. And they're just big metal tubes that go inside another big metal tube if you've never seen that before. So you can put a shitload of coke in a big giant hydraulic thing if you emptied it out, hollowed it and shit. So they do, as a matter of fact. A statement from the Customs and Excise people said, quote, customs investigators believe they've stopped a major drug supply route using the glamorous world of motor racing.
How did they know to look in there?
There had to be somebody around.
Somebody had to tip them off, right?
Because there has to be. Or
some
dogs.
Some of these times I guess dogs will do it. But
if
some
they
of the
had
times
a tip and then there's dogs,
right?
That could do
Sometimes they find like an RV packed with this shit, and I'm like, how did you do that? How did you know to look in there?
It's not like you had a bunch of weed and you can smell it from the outside.
It's inside the tires. How did you know to look in the fucking tires?
How would you even? Well, they know how people smuggle, I guess.
Yeah.
So They said that the customs officers closed in when the trailer completed a return journey from Flushing in Holland to Sheerness. So they waited for it. They knew what he was coming to do. Yep. What they did is, this is fucking wild, actually. In case they got away, because they wanted to see where they went. Rather, if you just bust everybody right there at the customs thing, then you don't know
information.
You get no information.
Right.
So what they do is the agents, because it takes sometimes hours to clear customs, especially with a big giant trailer full of shit. They have to go through everything. Yeah. So what the customs agents do is they take all the cocaine out of the hydraulics and replace it with bags of fake cocaine. They just replace it with bags of powder, so it looks right. They got the same bags and everything.
Send them on their way.
They did it, and they went, oh, yeah, you guys are good. And they left, so then they could follow them, see where the drugs go, see where the people go. They figure all that out. And if they thought if they lost them, then they won't have a shitload of coke to sell anyway. They'll have all this fake coke. Either way, we got the coke, and they're busted, but let's try to get some more info, which I think was brilliant, honestly. Yeah. That's fucking brilliant. We'll take the coke out and replace it. Jesus.
Also, they think they got away with it. So even if you don't stop them where they go with the drop, they're coming back because they think they did it.
They think they did it.
You're going to get them again.
Absolutely. It's working. So they didn't make any arrests at the ferry port, but they swooped in on a number of addresses the next day. Okay. They said that it was understood that the team had taken the car to Holland to meet a potential buyer who never showed up. That's what they told customs agents. Okay. We took the car over there and to sell it, and the guy never showed, so we had to come back with it. You know how that goes. Yeah. Stuffed with cocaine as well. A woman who answered the phone at the racing team's headquarters said there may be a statement from the group later, but that's the only comments that they'll make here. So there's that. Wow, it's very fucking interesting. So also very common, apparently, in racing, as we found out through how many of our episodes.
Yeah, the speedboats love it.
They love the boat racers, and these guys, they just love adrenaline, and they're doing expensive sports that don't pay for themselves.
Right.
So people generally, A, don't like to reach into their own pocket for shit like this, and B, sometimes they don't have that kind of money to do it. So
you think as a drug trafficker, you'd be calling these guys nonstop, hey, you're going where? Take this with you.
Yeah, here, grab that. Why don't you? I think that's what happens. The route from Holland to Kent, I guess, has become popular with running drugs because there's a large volume of people coming in and out. So it's they can't inspect everything, basically. So people slip through the cracks.
These trucks are enormous, so it's easy to miss something.
Oh, fuck yeah. All these parts. Do you think about how many different car parts and things, and I wouldn't even know what the fuck most of that shit was, you know? So I wouldn't know that it opens up and there's a container and there's coke in there. Who knows?
Most of them have some sort of hollowed out cavity in them that if it's a car part, you know what I mean? They're built in a way that's like a bowl, almost everything.
They want it to be light, so it's not going to be solid metal. Yeah, it's going to be light. On this route, the largest ever haul of ecstasy was busted. Largest ever discovered haul of ecstasy was on this route. It's apparently motor racing people say that people do this because you have an opportunity to go back and forth, and being on a race team offers frequent and legitimate journeys across borders.
Oh yeah.
That make you look less suspicious, obviously, and the tires and the racing equipment provide great hiding places.
Absolutely.
It's perfect. So last year, the year before this, in 91, Customs and Excise seized more than 1,000 kilos of cocaine with an estimated value back then, I don't know how true this is, of 138.4 million pounds.
Holy shit.
So this was almost double the previous year's seizures, which was only 561 kilos. And the price of cocaine on the street, though, this is great. I didn't know what the price of a street gram of cocaine in England was in the early 90s, and I didn't know I wanted to know, but once I found this out, I really do. I'm really interested here. It was about between 80 and 100 a gram during the 90s. So
that seems expensive, right?
It depends. In the 90s, in like New York in the 90s, it was about that. It was about $80 a gram. It's about what it was. Not in the city, but like outside a place in the city, you could go down and get some stepped on shit for $40.
Right.
And I don't do coke, by the way, and I hate coke. It's gross, but I do know what it goes for because it's easy to sell. So anyway, the latest seizure, they said, are estimated around $6 million or pounds, would be unlikely to make a third of that amount for the smugglers themselves, as they're talking about how this is broken down into distributors. Like,
right.
The actual person smuggling, it's not going to make that kind of money, obviously. They said last year a man tried to walk 2.5 ounces of cocaine hidden in an artificial leg through the customs there, too. So
brilliant.
That'll work. Most of the time, that's got to work, I would think. No one's going to.
And you'd think a lot of people would be doing that, too.
Yeah.
Whether it's a real fake leg or you just like tape your leg up and, you know what I mean? Make a fake leg.
Your foot sticking out the back of you.
That's a good point. I don't know.
I got a goiter. Don't worry about it.
I got a rash.
It's huge back there. Yeah. So this is pre 9/11. Like pre 9/11, people aren't telling you to pop your leg off most of the time.
It's not very search and seizure.
Now they're
heavy.
Now they're like, limp through the body scanner. Just fucking lean on it. It's fine. If you fall down, we'll kick you out of the way.
Take that off, put it through our X-ray, and you hobble through here. Do you need somebody to help you?
That's what we do there. Well, good. Do you have anyone with you? Well, then you're fucked. Sorry. So
crawl.
Crawl. We can still scan you. So he goes to court, and in court, he's going to plea to this because, he's pretty busted
what
by
are you gonna
it.
Do? Yeah.
Not a lot you can do there. They said he was sobbing in the court, and he begged the judge to go easy on him, saying how he had, quote, destroyed his own life.
Yeah, no
He's
doubt.
destroyed it all. So the judge, it's his first offense, and, I think the judge will probably take it easy on him, and be like, listen, he's obviously distraught.
Yeah.
It's his first offense. No. This is the early 90s, so this is a different story. The fucking judge calls him, quote, worse than the most violent bank robber.
He's worse than Action Bronson?
Wow. Holy shit. He said that, the full quote, that his offenses were more serious than the most violent bank robberies, and that drugs are the, quote, greatest threat to society today. You, sir, may fuck off.
Nancy Reagan got to him.
Whoa. 12 years he gives him for this.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's a lot. 12 years.
My God.
So Vic has taken the brunt of, like all these public service announcers. Don't do drugs, keep your kids off drugs. Like Vic is, oh boy,
public
he's
enemy
hard.
number one over here. The guy behind the wheel of the BMW.
He's like, all right. And
worse than a bank robber?
12 years, isn't it? Oh, yeah, that's bad.
That's steep.
Worse than the worst one. That's not even the worst sentence. Robert Mason, who was also involved in this, was sentenced to 18 years.
My God.
One of his partners. Jesus. Judge Jeffrey Rucker ordered Mason to, not offered him. Why don't you do this if you want? Ordered Mason.
How's about round about 12, eh?
How's about that? How's about you pay this much in a fine? Offered Mason to surrender 466 million pounds in assets, and Vic Lee to surrender 167,447 pounds in restitution, I guess, or fines, or whatever the fuck it is. Yeah. So they're talking about it. They admitted to importing all the cocaine, and they did all that shit. They admitted to conspiring to import drugs at different times, and not just that wasn't their only one, and all that shit. They had to admit to all that. Two other defendants who will be sentenced later: David Almond from Chislehurst. Chislehurst? That sounds made up. From Chislehurst, Kent. He admitted to conspiring to smuggle cannabis. Oh no! God
he had
forbid.
weed.
Come on. And Alan Humberstone, which sounds like the most British man who ever walked the face of the earth. Alan Humberstone, nice to meet you. He's 36. He was found guilty of smuggling and conspiracy as well. Mm-hmm. So he's in prison. His racing team is liquidated, obviously.
Oh, boy.
He's in prison.
He's got to pay all that back.
No shit. Liquidated. Some of the assets sold went to the team's driver, Ray Bellum, and drivers Bellum and Steve Neal, who together formed Team Dynamics. So they picked the bones and the carcass of this fucking burnt-out husk of a fucking racing team.
Yeah.
And did this. So, they and the BMW's people that were working with Vic Lee's team, they were like, sure, they just moved everything all over. all over there. I like how the newspaper puts it here. This is from Turnbridge Welks, Kent, England, this newspaper. And it says the German manufacturer clinched the televised British Championship last year with the help of Kent-based Vic Lee racing team and driver Tim Harvey. With Vic Lee no longer wanting to be in the series, he's in prison.
Yeah, I assure you, he wants to be.
I don't think I don't feel like driving anymore. I'm good. I just don't feel like it. It's passed me by. No, this is ridiculous. So, they talk about how there's new drivers and blah, blah, blah. Shit that we don't care about. So, anyway, 1998, he is paroled. So... he's put in prison in 94, so he only does like 4 years in prison. I don't know.
4 of the 12?
That's not bad. I mean, third of the time he's out, so okay. He works for Team Dynamics. So they hire him. His drivers hire him, so that's nice. And a little while after that, he ends up taking over a race team and starts another one.
Okay.
He takes over the Bowman Motorsport team and restarted the team as VLR, Vic Lee Racing.
Comeback kid, yeah.
He's the comeback kid. And he ran a program in the National Saloon Car Championship. The team was given its own space at Peugeot's Stoke Heath factory. I don't know if that's good or not, but they seemed very like that was a prestigious thing. The relationship also meant that the team also designed, built, and developed rally cars for the British iteration of the Peugeot 206 Cup, a one-make rally championship. I don't know what the fuck any of that shit means. At all.
One make means everybody drives the same car?
I suppose, yeah, because that's like the Toyota Supra one where they all had Supras. Yeah. They all had orange Supras. I guess that's how you can really make it
competitive.
What can you do with the car?
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you soup it up within regulations, and how do you drive it? Because we're all starting with the same shit. It's interesting. Except you kind of want to see different cars racing.
I like seeing
what's faster, the Beamer or the Mercedes?
What one dominates, and that makes that car sell better.
Yeah, that's cool.
For sure.
But I guess advertising all of them out there, that also probably works. So he's doing all this. 2002 comes around, and he one of the drivers, remember Tim Harvey, who we brought on back in the day? Well, he's they're calling him British touring car title favorite in 2002.
He's a hero.
So by now, he's like one of the top drivers. He signs, this is March 2002, to drive a Peugeot for Vic Lee Racing again.
Yeah.
So Vic had him, went to prison, all that shit. Now he has him again. So he's doing pretty well here. His team competes for 2002, 2003, 2004. Everybody's doing pretty well. He's got a great driver lined up. He's driving Peugeots. Okay. Everything's awesome. Then February 20th, 2005 comes around. Okay. This is fucking amazing. This is a couple people get in trouble. One of the guys who gets in trouble here is a guy named Jerry Mahoney with a G. Now, I tried to look up who Jerry Mahoney was. It says that he is a entertainment promoter, corporate entertainment promoter.
Yeah.
Is it the guy who hires comics to do your corporate fucking retreat or something? As if it is, that guy's a nightmare, and fuck him. He's a dick.
He does a lot of coke.
He hires you, tells you we're gonna have a lot of fun. It's gonna be great, and then he gets there and he just says, "Don't make any jokes about children, marriage, money,
difference between men and women,
dogs, women. If you could keep it to we have this GM. He's bald. He's really funny. One time we went on this trip. If you could keep it to that story for an hour and a half and just make fun of him for a little bit, everybody laughs at that. That's Jerry Mahoney, and he can suck my dick. So Jerry Mahoney and he get in trouble, and we'll talk about this. I looked up all these things. The only Jerry Mahoney I could really find is, here, roll your chair over here. I want this to be a reveal for you. Is this Jerry Mahoney?
He's a puppeteer.
No, not the ventriloquist. Not the guy sitting. Who looks like Mel Gibson, by the way. This
a little bit,
Look at him.
In his younger times,
These dolls, these scary, terrifyingly frightening fucking manic.
One is Jerry, the other's Mahoney.
These ventriloquist dolls that every 50s horror movie had one of these that's going to kill people. This is the exact model they used. They are known as Jerry Mahoney models. That's what they're, these models. So if you see that freaked out, bug-eyed, weird mouth on the like a scary 50s ventriloquist doll, that's a Jerry Mahoney.
Wow.
Okay, that's what that's called. It's created by a guy named Paul Winchell, and these are the first here that he made. And they said
those are terrifying.
They're terrifying. One's like bald. Is that one? Are they trying to? Are they trying to have one white and one black one? Is that what they're going for?
I can't
I think
tell.
that's what they're going for.
It.
I don't like it at all.
It might be those. Yeah, that looks like when bald guys get hairlines tattooed. That's what that looks like.
And then he's got like blonde, dorky hair there, and they're dressed a little bit different.
Doody. Yeah.
Yeah. The originals were made of wood and sculpted by Frank Marshall, and has detachable
Jerry's.
Jerry Mahoney's, same as that guy, and apparently they have a detachable carved wooden head. Jesus.
Oh, don't like that either.
And dressed in a red sport coat and bow tie.
Why's it got to have a detachable head? What's that about?
Oh, no. It is a white one and a black one. Oh, my God. The white one's Jerry Mahoney.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Dr. Paul Winchell. This is his fault, not mine. This is also 1938. Jerry Mahoney was his one puppet. The other one, the black one, his name was Knucklehead Smith with 2 F's.
I hate it.
Oh, my God. Did he do this act in blackface or what? Like, I mean, not to be... that's just fucking...
too far, yeah.
This is, what's his name? Fucking...
Was it Dunham?
Jeff Dunham level
of
shitty puppeteering here. But anyway.
That's awful.
That act was, they were popular from 1938 through the 80s, actually. They had the Paul Winchell and Jerry Mahoney show. He had his own television fucking show. Made appearances on Ed Sullivan and all this shit. So anyway.
With the Mr. Smith doll? How do you justify?
Yeah. That is terrible. He's also the inventor and holds a patent of early television, of an early version of the artificial heart, this guy.
What?
So he made dummies, and he also made artificial hearts, and he's known as the voice actor for Tigger in Winnie the Pooh.
That's where I've heard his name. I knew Paul Winchell was a name that I'd heard.
Where he won a Grammy Award for that. So
that motherfucker.
He's Tigger. He makes artificial hearts and racist puppets. That's what he does. What a weird full life.
Did he create the artificial heart, James, because he also makes Winchell's donut shops and clogs hearts?
We're gonna replace them all. So
all you can eat crullers on Sunday.
That was like, it had nothing to do with our shit, but it was so weirdly interesting that I had to put it in there. So anyway, the problem is for Vic Lee and the other Jerry Mahoney with a G, this Jerry's with a J, the puppet Jerry, basically he drives his BMW M3, Vic does, to a Holiday Inn hotel in High Wycombe, whatever the fuck it is, pulls into there.
Yeah.
He's being surveilled by police is the issue.
Yeah.
And they stop him, and they basically find him. They bust him in the middle of him making a drug deal, is what they do. He has, in his trunk of his car, he has 19 kilos of coke.
Uh-oh.
In his trunk. That's not great.
I mean, at least he halvesied it. He
went
down.
Yeah. But it's just in his car this time. It's not in a whole racing setup.
Truck.
Also had 19,000 pounds in cash in the car as well.
Oh.
Mix those together, it's not great here. So he's arrested for, obviously, the
trafficking,
possession of that. Street value at that time said of $1.7 million. So it must have went down. Coke went down a lot.
Yeah. I had a feeling it did.
Yeah,
there was certainly a plunge because it was, 2001 is so cheap.
Yeah.
So cheap.
It was cheap. It got cheap, too, especially in Arizona because it was dirty and it was
meth,
bad. So
yeah.
it was
not Coke.
Yeah. So, they pounced on what appeared to be a drug transaction involving 4 men. So all 4 of these people. Lee, this time, is said to be the mastermind and the organizer and everything like that. Basically, the other guys had cash with them when they got busted, and he had cash and all the coke. So
he had the bank and the product.
That's the issue. Is a little bit of a problem for him. So, I mean, he is He is, as the English would say, right fucked right now.
Proper fucked.
Proper fucked. By the way, I got sent a message the other day, and I love getting messages from anywhere in the British Isles because I get things like, it said, "Oi, you right cunt," is the opening to it. "Oi, you right cunt. Big fan, love crime and sports. Keep doing what you're doing forever, brother," or some shit, brother, whatever the fuck he called me, something at the end. But I was like, that is awesome.
Yeah.
"Oh, you're right, cunt. I love you." Okay, great. I don't care. Just if you end it with "I'm a big fan," I don't give a shit what you call me to start out with. Knock yourself out. So anyway, he is just this is a mess now. He doesn't know what to do with himself. Yeah. He's got to figure out how to change his life around. He just needs change in general. Just a whole change, and he's sitting in his place, and he's like, Jesus, what am I going to do? I can't sell coke anymore. I mean, this
no cars only.
Who's going to trust me to race? And even no one's going to buy a car from them. They're going to think there's a bunch of coke in it. They're never going to buy it from me. Am I going to drive away and get busted by the SWAT team here? This is ridiculous. So he doesn't know what to do with himself. He's very confused, and all of a sudden there's a knock on the door, Jimmy. Oh, my goodness. He said, "Who is this?" And it's someone who can help him arrange and decorate his life. It is Dexter Manley, interior designer from New York City. And he says, "How is it you've come to arrive here? Oh my God, you, sir, are the trashiest white trash that's ever trashed. It's like, I'm from America, so we think like British people, like you're so fancy, and you're over here like you're like, cheers to tea, and my pinky's out, and like, oh my God, like you just oil each other up and do things and drink tea and have fun, and it's just British, and it's a good time, and that's how you think of you. But you're trash, sir. You're going around with like little cars, like you're like 20, like little cars, and you put like drugs in them, like it's all scummy, and you have like other people around, and they're all scummy too, and you're meeting in Holiday Inn parking lots."
What are you, from Scotland?
Sir, that's white trash, sir. You're like, what are you like from are you Welsh or something? It's like Wales level trash out here. It's so weird, but either way, I don't like it, and I'm judging you, sir. Sir, head to toe, judgment. Poof. There you go. Have that. I'm out of here. Poof. In a puff of feathers and boa, he's gone. And Vic is very confused. He doesn't know what's happening. He said, was there an American man in here? It was very confusing. I thought he was British, but he wasn't. He's very confused, and he has to go to court, all sorts of confused, and he doesn't know what to do with himself. Boy. And he goes to court, and he has to plead guilty. He's standing there with a trunk full of coke and a bunch of money in his hand. Like, you can't get busted any more red-handed than this. They've done a great job of busting him.
Yeah, on government camera. Like it's ours. We caught
at the Holiday Inn. It just makes it sound even sleazier. He is sentenced to, you, sir, may fuck off. 12 years again he gets for this.
Didn't even up it. Well, they did. They did up it because he had halvesy coke and got the same punishment.
But it's still fucking transporting. Yeah. But it's not smuggling this time. So it's a different. I guess probably there's different charges here. But so his assets and those of Jerry Mahoney will be restrained, and confiscation proceedings will follow. Oh boy. Mahoney receives 11 years for his part in the deal. He should have got 50 for those puppets. So another one, Nicholas Atkins and Jonathan Wheatley were all the other defendants. This was the four people that were meeting for this big deal, named in the case. And they searched the Wheatley's home address, apparently, and it was searched, and they found a shitload more cocaine in there. So that wasn't good, along with 54,000 pounds in cash. And Wheatley receives 9 years, where Atkins receives 6.5 years in jail. They all pled guilty to drug trafficking offenses in 2005. And in addition, Lee and Wheatley also pleaded guilty to offenses contrary to the Proceeds of the Crime Act of 2002. And then the order was granted in 2005 for forfeiture of 73,230 pounds from Lee in accordance with that act.
Isn't this probable cause enough to search every racing team?
I really think if you see a racing team coming in, just give them a once-over.
Run a dog around that truck, would you?
Check the tires, check the hydraulics. They're more than likely it's filled with cocaine. That's what we're saying.
It's
more
all
than
coke.
likely. It's all fucking blow everywhere.
The car's made of coke. It's all coke.
Maybe that's what it's like. Cheech and Chong Up in Smoke.
Yeah.
They just made liquid coke and turned it into a truck
Just
itself.
Pressed it into a vehicle.
Yeah, drove it across the border. I think maybe that's what happened.
It's not fiberglass. It's melted coke.
It's just melted coke, man. It's just like coke shatter is what it is. That's all. So they went on to say this is a significant success for Customs, not only in terms of the seizure of a large quantity of cocaine, but also in that a criminal organization heavily involved in Class A drug trafficking has been dismantled. That's what they said. The fact that we are dealing with serious and determined criminality is evidenced by the fact that Lee was sentenced to 12 years imprisonment in connection with the importation of 41 kilograms of cocaine in 93.
Yeah.
So the driving factor behind criminal involvement in drug trafficking is money. Therefore, it is particularly satisfying that in this case, we have seized in excess of £70,000 from the defendants, blah, blah, blah. The severity of the sentences handed down today should send out a loud and clear warning with those who attempt to deal Class A drugs in the UK. They will not have it. So we'll give you the same sentence every time.
We're not having it. You get nothing aggravated, nothing upped, no penalty upped, less money even because it's less coke.
It's
same
less
time.
coke.
Same time.
Same time. October 2007, the confiscation order comes through here. It's issued after additional investigations into Lee's drug trafficking offenses. His sentence will be extended. His jail sentence will be extended if he does not pay the £72,000 within 6 months.
Oh, they're going to make him stay longer.
So, yeah, you have to stay if you don't pay this back. So that's big time. The assistant director for investigation for the Revenue and Customs here said, our teams of investigators have achieved a fantastic result that sends a clear message to those who engage in serious organized crime. Oh, boy, calling it organized. This has been a significant success story for us in terms of seizing such a large quantity of cocaine, the dismantling of a major criminal organization, and returning the profits from this crime back to the nation.
Yeah.
So there you go. The profits from people doing coke. Yeah, that's... Anyway.
All the fun times people are having in all our nightclubs here.
You know how it goes. So May 2012, he's out of jail. So he had to do more time this time. He gets a job, like a legit job, immediately.
What's he doing?
Like fucking immediately. He's become the managing director of luxury sports seat manufacturer Corbeau.
What?
Yeah.
He's working for Corbeau, and he's an executive.
He's the managing director of Corbeau. No, he's in charge of this fucking place.
Right out of prison for trafficking coke.
Right out to a place that ships car parts all over the fucking world and all over Europe that you could easily put lots of
boxes
cocaine in. Yeah.
that are enormous.
Yeah,
They're
huge
seats, for Christ's sake.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's coming in on those big ships, man.
Yeah.
Fucking you can't look through that. Yeah. That's what's going on
here.
Corbeau.
It's one of the next to Sparco. That's one of the biggest manufacturers in the world.
They said they supply shit to all the major stores, all the major. Yeah. They're huge. People are fucking pissed about this. By the way, they really are. There's all sorts of people on the internet, super pissed off at this. He said, "Bullshit, Mister."
Yeah.
He said that he has paid for his crime, and he's a, quote, glittering example of how this shit should work. Okay. You know what? Let's just let him explain it. I can't say it myself here. Let's see here. Let's do it in their own words. Let's do in their own words, quote, there is something that I can never get away from. This is something I can never get away from. But it is something for which I have been punished and which I would like to put behind me once and for all, but people just won't let me do that. I do not know what people want me to do. Do they want me to just come out of prison and go on the dole at taxpayers' expense? I've been lucky enough to pay for my crimes. It's a weird way to say it. And now Been given the opportunity to get back into the industry that I love. People should view me as a glittering example of the prison system working properly, not jump on me every time I do something new. The way people talk about me makes me seem like some sort of monster, but I've paid for my crimes. I just want to move on with my life.
Oh, boy.
There you go. So he is big time. Now, other people have different...
lucky.
You better. He's fucking... We should be lucky that he's such a good guy, goddammit.
Because he feels lucky to have been to prison.
He's lucky to have been to prison. I'm lucky to have paid for my crimes. Here's a comment from this person from the newspaper there. I do not understand how this convicted drug dealer can be put in charge of such a luxury brand. Not only that, but they sell their goods to the likes of Halfords. And may I ask if this is responsible behavior from a public limited company that sells children's bikes? People cannot believe how many second chances this guy has been given.
Have you ever gotten a message out of the blue? Maybe you ignore them. Or maybe you end up in conversation. Maybe they tell you about an amazing offer. I can really show you how to make some money. And maybe that gets you into a lot of trouble. But this isn't a story about people like you, the people receiving these messages. This is a story about the people behind the messages, on the other end of the line. Thousands of them, working in a microcity built for scammers. From Wondery, the makers of Dr. Death and Kill List, comes Scam Factory, a new series about survival at the expense of others. Follow Scam Factory on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Scam Factory early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.
A few miles from the glass spires of Midtown Atlanta lies the South River Forest. In 2021 and 2022, the woods became a home to activists from all over the country who gathered to stop the nearby construction of a massive new police training facility, nicknamed Cop City.
At approximately 9 o'clock this morning, as law enforcement was moving through various sectors of the property, an individual, without warning, shot a Georgia State Patrol trooper.
This is We Came to the Forest, a story about resistance.
The abolitionist mission isn't done until every prison is empty and shut down.
Love and fellowship.
It was probably the happiest I've ever been in my life.
And the lengths we'll go to protect the things we hold closest to our hearts. Follow We Came to the Forest on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus.
Oh, we're beyond second chances now. This
is
chance 3 right here.
Yeah.
So, he becomes kind of a hated guy now because a lot of people are like, "Hey, fuck you, asshole!" Like
he's failing upwards, like flaming
constantly.
out upwards.
Yeah. So he goes to prison, comes out, gets a race team, they're champions. Okay, blows that, comes out, gets a great job as the head of this fucking thing that it would be. It's ridiculous. But not a good time to be Vic Lee otherwise because he's getting a lot of shit. A lot of people are mad at him. I mean, you feel sorry for a lot of people that are named Vic Lee. I feel sorry for all these people, Jimmy.
Yeah.
But not nearly as sorry as I feel for Vic Lee, retail and e-commerce platform executive in Hong Kong.
Oh.
Yeah. Vic Lee, Vice President of Engineering in New Taipei City. Victor Lee, co-host of the networking podcast Things I Didn't Learn at Harvard.
What?
New York City metropolitan area. That sounds real exciting. Victor Lee, back end. By the way, that's the only podcast that ever got a fucking plug on our show here. Victor Lee, back end software engineer, New York City metropolitan area. Then I found Vic Lee, who was a San Francisco journalist, a TV journalist for 50 years, who retired from KGO in 2020, ABC 7.
Doesn't bother with Coke.
Yeah, he was one of the first Asian American reporters in the nation to appear regularly on television.
Wow.
So, yeah,
good for him.
Big deal. Yeah, big deal if you're a fucking Asian kid growing up in San Francisco and this guy's on TV. It's probably a big deal for him. And then also Vic Lee, some fucking like cartoon artist that had these cartoons that aren't really funny in the paper. In 1995, he made comic strips. He was it was the comic strip non sequitur. Oh no, it was I Need Help. It's called.
Oh,
and it's
not non sequitur.
No, I Need Help, and it didn't look very good. It took the spot of non sequitur.
Oh.
Apparently, he's from Tucson, so that tells you a lot.
He's from
there.
Tucson, Arizona.
Oh yeah, and then also Vic Lee, artist, muralist, urban poet. He calls himself typographer, wizard of ink, author of the Corona Diary 2020, speaker and inspirationalist.
Did you say topographist or typographist?
What did I call him? A typographer.
I hate him.
He does shit like this. That's a hand-drawn mural, though. Look at that. Check it over. Yeah, dude, check that out. He does tons of shit like that.
That is unbelievable.
It's incredible. Like, as an artist, dude is... Like, if you wanted...
Look at the letters are so crisp.
It looks like 1870s advertising is what he does. It's so fucking cool.
Start tattooing, sir, because you're amazing.
He has all of these, like, huge murals. He does a lot of ads for... He does it for, like, companies that want that old look like that. That's hire him, and he makes these crazy... real thing here. It's pretty badass, though. So there's that guy. You can look up his shit. And then finally, I found right here on LinkedIn, Victor Lee, Managing Director, Corbeau Seats Ltd.
Son of a bitch.
There he is. Here's his
Still
about
there.
from LinkedIn. Want to see if he mentions fucking coke smuggling?
Tell me anything about how many times you've been arrested for having kilos of coke.
Yeah. You've spent like 12 years of your adult life in jail. That should definitely be on the resume. It's a big time jump to skip.
You've been caught smuggling twice over 60 fucking kilos of coke.
That is a lot, man. So it says about having been in the motor racing industry for over 40 years, operating at all levels, I would say, including fucking coke in a Holiday Inn parking lot. My input has had a great effect on the Corbeau Seats business. Well, then, are you cocky? Many of my old sparring partners, drivers, and teams alike know of my reputation to deliver on time and deal with some complex situations. Did he just say that?
Don't say deliver and deal in the same.
My old drivers teams know of my reputation to deliver on time. Are you joking, bro?
Deal.
You're a smuggler and deal. You're a smuggler and deal with some complex problems like having the fucking
feds on my ass.
Feds on, the federales
in the wheel well.
Wow. The sport has always been good to me, and I'm enjoying it from a slightly different perspective these days. Working with the CMC Group, which owns Corbeau Seats Ltd., Luke Harnesses Ltd., and Show Tracks Ltd., has been a very challenging at times. So nice. That's your LinkedIn profile. Have somebody proofread it. As it continues to grow to become a solid, respected supplier to the industry. So
supplier, no.
Bro, that's why I said that. I'm like, that's why I said there's that. It's like, yeah.
Way too many words that go with coke smuggling.
That's insane. He literally was just like, I smuggled coke
purpose,
a lot.
Right? He had to do that on
There's
purpose.
no way he didn't.
Yeah.
For a laugh? I don't know. So I guess only if you know type of thing. Like if you don't know, you wouldn't that would sound totally normal.
Yeah, it's definitely wink and nod shit.
If you know, you get a laugh. So, wow, that's a wild thing there. So, 2013, the company and him in particular are involved in a controversy involving the show Top Gear.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Top Gear admitted it broke strict BBC rules on product placement by featuring items made by a company headed by a former cocaine smuggler. The logos of Corbeau Seats and Luke Harnesses are repeatedly shown in cars being driven by celebrities in the hit car show, despite a ban on such items being given undue prominence. Corbeau Seats, which along with Luke Harnesses, is owned by CM Consolidated, has highlighted its involvement with Top Gear on its Facebook and Twitter pages. The Mirror reported mention of the show was absent from their pages this morning. So the show's executive producer, Andy Willman, said they broke the guidelines, brand name, slogan, trade name references, which must always be clearly editorially justified, it says. That's the rule. Because BBC is a public thing.
It's a big, and it's a big deal for their reputation and what's the other word? What do journalists want? Integrity.
The integrity of the BBC is just to be owned by the people and not a corporate interest, basically.
Right. Fucking matters.
So so they said the BBC is not permitted to accept free or reduced cost products in return for credits.
Wow.
Also, so it's not just straight greasing.
No swag. Yeah.
No swag. Yeah. That's wild. The Corbeau's products feature in the Star in a reasonably priced car section of the show, in which celebrities drive, what is that, a Vauxhall? What the fuck is that? Vauxhall? Around a racetrack. The products also feature in other segments. The Willman guy said, "I put my hands up. It's my mistake." He said that the car they had those seats and harnesses in there. So he's like, I didn't fucking put them in there for that. He said that when he asked the company about them, the Vauxhall said they had received the seats and harnesses for free. But he said it is his job to check the product placement rules. And he said, I will be putting it right. I am bang to rights. I'm going to pay Corbeau and take the logos away so they don't get them for free. We'll just pay for the seats. We've never given them prominence over the years because we have different manufacturers for Star and reasonably priced car. That slipped under the radar, he said. So, this is like, this was 2013 too. He's still in charge over there.
God,
even though
damn it.
The only reason this came up was because it was connected to him.
Yeah.
That's it. Otherwise, they wouldn't even have noticed. But people were bitching and calling the fucking, whatever they are, their version of the FCC, saying their fucking BBC is showing this goddamn car of this fucking convicted coke smuggler. Like, why are we showing his brand? Why are we at
seats everywhere?
Yeah, my tax dollars are advertising for some convicted fucking coke smuggler. To this
every time I see Corbeau, I think of cocaine.
Yeah, Cobo. So he said he'll be putting it right, blah, blah, blah. He said, now Lee said he just wants to put it behind him. And he said, this is something I can never get away from, but it's something for which I've been punished and which I would like to put behind me once and for all. Well, yeah, I bet you would. He said, but people just won't let me do that. Yeah.
We're not going to either.
It's tough, and we're not either. We're going to make fun of you also. I mean, come on, man. What do you want from us? So, January 25th, 2020, okay? He is still in charge, like we said, of this company.
Right.
He is driving on the A11.
No.
Okay? He's driving a 2018 Mercedes. I don't know what model. C-Class. There we go.
Oh, that's a nice one.
He is clocked, and this is not kilometers per hour, by the way, miles per hour. He is clocked at 132 miles an hour.
Wow, he's
which
moving.
Is fucking fast on a fucking public road. That's crazy.
That's moving.
132. Jesus Christ. Who did we have that was doing like a 150 something that time? It was
recently.
Know,
but that's too fast.
It's too. But 132 is bonkers fast.
I mean, I've gone fast, but that's
really
on a
fast.
public road. Just
yeah. I mean, granted, he's a race car driver, but still, not anymore. Fuck, man.
That's not a race car.
No, it's a fucking just in his regular Mercedes C-Class here. He appeared in court and faces the prospect of losing his driver's license over this because it's so over the limit. He pled guilty to speeding at an earlier hearing, and they talk about it, and he's trying to get out of losing his license. His lawyer, Reese Rosser, which again, R-H-Y-S, Reese Rosser is a very British name. He told the magistrates that his client would face, quote, exceptional hardship if he were banned from driving. They say he drives 30,000 miles a year for his business.
What?
Wow. That's a lot of
living
fucking
in
miles.
your car.
He must be going from, I don't know, going to, what is he, Chris Farley and Tommy Boy? Like, why does he have to go, why does he have to go on a barnstorming tour to these places?
Sell seats to save the factory? What is happening?
What I mean. Oh, got to go to Surrey to sell some seats this weekend. Like, what are you talking about? What's happening?
If we don't move enough units, we're going to lose our jobs.
Holy shit, man. Yeah, so he's driving all that. He said he's in a firm that is working with a large number of high-profile car manufacturers. Although he has a number of non-disclosure agreements that prevent them from being named, driving is an essential part of his life and business. He's involved in all car stuff, and he's known as a driver, so you kind of have to...
They're buying seats? Why does he need to sign an NDA to sell seats to people?
Well, for who they're working with, who the hell knows, man? I hate NDAs. It's the stupidest shit ever. If you don't want to, unless it's obviously trade secrets, you shouldn't be revealing anyway. But outside of that, if you don't want your dumb shit revealed, don't do it.
Right.
Sorry. I mean, I don't know what the fuck to tell you.
Why are you so embarrassed?
Yeah. The only difference, like if someone's like working in a celebrity's house, to not talk about their kids or family or something, whatever. But like other than that, these business ones, it's like you got to get over yourselves, people. Jesus Christ. So Lee has been the director of the company here for a while. His lawyer added it was very much a one-off error, a silly and stupid error. He realizes he was in the wrong. You don't drive 132 miles an hour once. That's not your only time speeding.
As an error.
I assure you that's not how that works.
When he got to 100, he didn't think, I should probably back off. He hammered it further.
Yeah, this is not a one-off thing. That's how fast he drives, and he got busted, and he's like, shit. He drives like they always hear Vince McMahon drives. That's what everybody says. Vince McMahon, people, when they first start working for him, and he'll be like, drive with me, and people are like, oh, I get to drive with the boss. That's going to be cool. And then they've white-knuckled wherever the fuck they've gotten to because Vince drives everywhere at as fast as you can possibly go. That's what he does. Just 100 miles an hour. Fast as you can go in that situation, and gets tickets constantly all the time, and just like, all right, there we go, pal. And he says, people were saying he'll pull away from the cop and go a fucking 100 away from the cop that he just pulled away from. What are you doing? So that's kind of how he drives, I picture here. So the lawyer argued that a points penalty would prove a more effective form of punishment in the short term than a driving ban, as it would serve as a greater reminder for his client to abide by the speed limits. Because if he's not driving, he can't remember to abide by speed limits. That's a weird way to put that, man. He said a points penalty would have a more positive effect as they remain on his license for 3 years. A disqualification is really a short-term reminder. So if you really want to punish him, don't take his license. So the judge said, quote, your driving was grossly in excess of the speed limit. Well over. You, sir, may fuck off. He is banned from driving for 90 days.
Okay.
That's 3 months of no driving. Yeah. And he's fined £500 in order to pay $50, a $50 victim surcharge, and $100 in court costs. Mm-hmm. He didn't hurt anybody. There's no victim here. I guess this is just for like a fund.
Yeah.
It was like, did somebody get scared by his, like, I don't know what he.
If somebody's hurt in a traffic accident where somebody was speeding, we'll use his money towards it.
Anybody going over 100, we're going to throw a little in the kitty. So that's what he's currently doing. He's currently on LinkedIn working for Corbeau, doing his thing, living his life, man. So there is that. That is Vic Lee.
Who has smuggled that much coke in their life and is out thriving as a director for a company like that?
That's the thing. You might be out, but you're not a legitimate person that like can
thriving.
Do that's crazy, and like a legit managing partner of that's fucking nuts. You can't do that.
Of a company that makes probably millions every year.
Oh God, they're a huge brand. Yeah, they make way more than that. They're huge,
and they're amazing seats.
They are. They look really nice.
They're beautiful.
So that said, we need to do an update here for everybody here. That's why we picked a little shorter one, because we need an update on Tammy Sytch, because people, they've sent us so much sunny stuff, and so we've looked into it, and we just want to give everybody an update on the update. That's how much of a fucking disaster she is.
This is a quagmire.
It's a real mess. What ended up happening was she got into a car accident here in Ormond Beach, Florida.
Right.
It was on US 1, driving southbound on US 1 just north of Granada Boulevard.
That's the first interstate in this country, right?
That's number one. Yeah, it goes up and down the East Coast there. Yep. So he does that.
She does.
She does that. He does that. Yeah, she does that. She's driving. Now, that day, too, she was real kind of feeling herself that day. We've talked about she's recently been busted for shit like this, like DUI. She's definitely not supposed to be driving, okay? No. This is not one of the things she got busted for. This is something that happened after, I think. So anyway, she's driving on these roads. Now that day, about 2:33 p.m. that day, she had posted a tweet saying, so she tweets this at 2:33. She's feeling herself this day. Quote, "Well, assholes." That's how she starts out.
That's 2 words first. Well, assholes.
Well, assholes, since my name has been toward the top of the kill list for the last 20 years, and I'm still fucking alive, shit, my autograph is worth more now, so once I do croak, you can sell it for a lot more money. Come out and see me at a signing.
What the fuck?
You have me in your death pool, so get my autograph, and once I die, it'll be worth more. That's what she's essentially saying here.
Come buy my autograph because you'll make money on it.
Basically, yeah. It's a good investment.
That's her pitch. Well, assholes.
Well, assholes. What gets worse, she's pretty belligerent on Twitter. So then later on at 8:28 p.m. that night, she's driving southbound on US 1 just north of Granada Boulevard, like we said, when she crashes into a stopped vehicle.
Yeah.
How, you may say, because obviously she's not allowed to fucking drive. She should be not allowed to ride in a car by now. Like, you should, seriously, she should have to take buses places.
She shouldn't even be allowed on public transportation.
No, you know what? You're right. We'll get you a skateboard. That's what you can take. A skateboard. That way, if someone hits you, it's on. You'll fall over and they're fine.
You've got to where your energy takes you to is your halo around your house.
Rollerblades. Yeah. Tammy by rollerblade only. That's what you got to do. So this day, she crashes in. What she does is she crashes into a stopped vehicle.
Oh, God.
Never good. Then that vehicle crashes into the car in front of it, of course.
Oh, God.
Sets off a domino effect. The vehicle, the driver of the vehicle hit by Tammy is identified as Julian LaFrancis Lassiter Jr. Mm-hmm. He's a 70 and change-year-old fucking man here.
Yeah.
70 and change-year-old man, and he ends up, as we'll talk about here, he is transported to Halifax Health Medical Center, where he's pronounced dead.
Oh, God.
Now, she was driving a 2012 Mercedes-Benz.
What? What?
I mean, it's older, but still, she shouldn't be driving.
Whose car is that?
She should be driving a Geo Metro, a 93. Yeah. What the fuck? She crashed into the rear of a 2013 Kia Sorento, which was what the Mr. Lassiter was driving, was a Kia Sorento, which was stopped at a stoplight. Then the Kia crashed into the rear of a Yukon, a 2011 GMC Yukon. So it's a fucking mess.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Lassiter survived by a daughter and 2 grandchildren. Poor bastard. So the driver and passengers of the Yukon complained of neck, back, side, and head injuries as well. They weren't taken to the hospital, though, so they couldn't have been all that injured here. Okay. Tammy was taken to the same hospital as the victim with unknown injuries. 2 witnesses told the police that she was driving at a, quote, high rate of speed before crashing into the Kia. And police also said they believe that Tammy was under the influence of alcohol at the time of the wreck as well. They said she had all indicators of being under the influence. Mm-hmm. There is still the blood toxicology tests that have not come back yet, or have not gone public yet. So we don't know exactly what it was, but police, people around her when she got out, like everybody said it's like there was something wrong with her, like she was fucked up. They said they're investigating the crash, and the toxicology results could lead to criminal charges against her. Duh. So with that said, I want to play a clip. It's like a 1.5-minute clip of, we have a really weird way of predicting the future. I don't know how we do it. It's never on purpose. We don't sit and think about it.
No.
But we predicted the pandemic.
Yeah.
We did that in episode, what was it, episode 60? I want to start 61, 62? I think. 61.
61 or 60. Yeah, 61.
Around there of Small Town Murder, when we predicted the pandemic 2 years before it happened, pretty clearly. I mean, I've read masks and everything. We really hit it hard. This time, we are going to play a clip of us. This is from was like 6 weeks ago, the update episode that we did about Tammy and what we said about her. Possibly what was going to happen with all the other shit that was going on in her life. Let's cut to that right now. Tammy, after her most recent arrest on her Facebook page, she said, quote, "I am okay. I am laying low for a bit, but I'm okay. Don't believe the media. Please don't." What are you talking about? Were you in a car behind the wheel? Yes or no? If the answer is yes, I don't fucking care what the details are. You can't be driving. Do we have to break your fucking hands like a Vegas casino in the 60s so you can't cheat anymore? Do we have to hammer your fucking hands so you're bandaged up and you can't drive? I feel like that's what we need to do at this point.
She's going to hurt somebody. That's next.
Yeah, I don't know how she hasn't. She drives around shit-faced.
I'm stunned she hasn't. Wrong way? Jesus.
There she goes.
There she goes again.
There she goes again.
There she goes.
Driving through that house. She's in the living room.
She just hit 2 kids.
She just hit someone's grandpa. Okay. So
there she goes.
She certainly has a way about her, and there she goes.
She hit 2 kids. She's going to, for sure. There's no other way that ends. She hasn't learned her lesson, and she's not going to, because every time it's the same problem and the same thing,
and
the same repercussions.
Help?
Yeah, nothing
prison
fixes.
No, she has a deep-seated problem that she needs to fix, and it's the need for booze. Mm-hmm. And until she fixes that shit, everything else is pointless, because it's always going to come back to she's going to get drunk and then she's going to make bad decisions. That's how it works with her. Yeah, see? We're singing There She Goes. You said she's going to kill children, and I said she ran over Grandpa. That's what happened. And what did she do? She fucking killed Grandpa.
What the fuck, Sonny? Don't make us legitimate.
Don't make us right, Sonny. What the hell is wrong with you? Don't do that. I feel terrible for that she actually killed someone's grandma.
And there she goes to jail now. God damn it!
There she goes. There she goes to jail. She goes to jail
again.
Getting deloused.
Wear these shiny handcuffs.
She's a fucking mess.
I hope this time she's in for she's going forever, right? She's not getting out for in less than 20 years, right?
I would imagine if she has one speck of any substance in her fucking bloodstream, she's got to be going to jail. After all of this, I mean, good God, man, you can't get a more repeat offender than this.
Right.
Now, we're waiting, like I said, for the toxicology results. The estate of Julian L. Lassiter said that they are going to sue her and her boyfriend, James F. Penty. I guess if he was in the car too or what. But the suit alleges negligence on Tammy's part and says Penty is, quote, vicariously liable for her actions for allowing her to use his vehicle.
There you go.
He wasn't even in the car, but it's his car.
God.
So unless she stole it from him, he's the asshole because he let her fucking use it. If you see Tammy Sytch walking with car keys, fucking wrestle her to the ground. That should be a law. You can't assault people unless Tammy Sytch is walking toward the driver's side of a car with keys in her hand. Then you can come up and tackle her and wrestle the keys out of her hand. I think that should be legal, right?
She wrestled, so yeah.
I'm saving everyone. Sorry.
You should be able to stone cold stun her. Jesus Christ.
One for the many. Rock bottom, bitch. Let's go. Oh, my God. So that's going on here. She has been active since the incident online and social media. She's out. She's not in jail.
What the shit?
Because they haven't charged her with anything yet for it. So she's out. All she's been really doing mostly is promoting her OnlyFans page.
Come watch me frig myself.
To watch that. Yeah, that's just great.
Want to see the tits of a possible vehicular manslaughterer?
Yeah, here we go. Yeah, those are some jail tits there. All right. So then she started tweeting on April 22nd, 2002. 2022, very, very recently, obviously, as this is coming out. She was asking about all this. Well, let's just say what she says here. She tweets out this, By the way, she is not verified, which I find hilarious. So she was, in 1990, what is it, 7, I think, she was the most downloaded person on America Online, which was the big platform. And now I have a check mark and she doesn't. That is funny to me.
She's in the Wrestling Hall of Fame.
Yeah, her at is WWEHOF or Sunny.
There you go.
So
what do you want to bet?
There.
What do you want to bet she gets kicked out after if this goes through? She's convicted and she's sued for this. Vince has got to toss her, right?
I mean, Snuka's in there. You know what I mean?
Point.
Like,
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe we do it like. I don't like how baseball has like the Hall of Fame. If you have to like,
if you're tarnished, you can't get
to be
in.
a perfect guy. Yeah, it should be on the fucking merits. In football, they're like Lawrence Taylor dominated. I don't care what he did. He's in the fucking Hall of Fame. Sorry. And I feel like wrestling, and especially any wrestlers that worked anytime pre like 15 years ago. All of that's on the table. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry, you can't blame them for that. They're wrestlers. Like, what do you expect from these people?
A lot of these guys are dead from overdoses, for Christ's sake.
Yeah. They're just happy they're alive. They don't give a shit if you hate them now.
Right.
So she tweets out, like I said, April 22nd, 2022, 6:08 p.m., quote, question for all. This is in all caps, the question for all. Why follow me and others just to write nasty comments and derogatory remarks? Is your life that fucking boring? Can't you think of something to do, like assemble Legos or dress like Star Wars characters? Doesn't it show your insecurities?
She's calling them nerds because they don't drink and crash into old people.
Yeah. She's playing the horny nerd card because they don't have 14 fucking DUIs and are up for possible vehicular manslaughter charges in the future, allegedly. So
boring lives.
Doesn't it show your insecurities? Doesn't it show your insecurities that you can't drive without being shit-faced? How about that? Are you insecure about your driving?
Wow, man.
What a fucking asshole. So,
she's a jerk.
So then somebody replies to her, quote, question for you. How fast were you going when you slammed into that poor old guy stopped at a traffic light and killed him? His life ended for what reason? Were you on your way to a fire or drunk or high?
Were you on your way to a fire is the best question.
On your way to a fire? Where's the fire? I love Where's the Fire. That's a fantastic fucking...
That's the whole cop line.
Yeah, where's the fire? That's so funny. So she responds, about 10 since I was slowing down to light. So she said she was slowing down at 10 miles an hour.
She hit a man at 10 miles an hour and killed him?
Which also shot his truck into another truck in front of him at 10. She said, but he had a heart attack, nothing to do with my seizure. This has now turned into a breadcrumb trail of clues now.
So she's saying a medical emergency slammed into a medical emergency? That's what killed him?
That's it. Or, yeah, she must be, because otherwise she's saying...
What are the fucking odds?
She had a seizure while driving, is what she's saying, apparently. That not she wasn't fucked up, she just had a seizure. And was he having a heart attack before you hit him? Was he in there like, oh, God, oh, Jesus, now my neck hurts too. Oh, fuck, I got hit in the back. Or was he sitting there just whistling, looking at the light, and then you plowed into him, he plowed into someone else, he got so uptight, he goes, oh, God, my chest, I'm having chest pains, and he fucking died. Because that happens too.
Sure.
Did you scare the shit out of him into a heart attack, or was he having a heart attack beforehand? Because
if your actions caused him to have a heart attack, that's because you're negligent.
You're negligent. But like, can her lawyers argue that he was like in the midst of a heart attack when she plowed into him already, and it was just it's like running over a dead body that's already on the ground? Like, is that what she's going to try to argue? Like, I didn't see it there. It was a tarp over it, and I thought it was leaves.
What an argument.
Yard clippings. I'm not sure. But he had a heart attack, nothing to do with my seizure, which this is the first time a seizure's been mentioned at all, by the way, in any of this. That's the defense she's going for.
Is she privy to the death certificate, and they filed it as a heart attack?
I don't know. I mean, she would know because it's
he went
disclosure.
To the hospital with injuries from the accident. Perhaps, I mean, because
technically, Hector Camacho died of a heart attack, but he died of a heart attack because he and strokes because he was shot in the fucking face.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I mean. That's what happens here. What is it? The stress of being in an accident, taken to the hospital, and then something else that gave him the heart attack, or was he like dead in the car waiting for the green light, and then she just plowed into a dead body? I don't know. I'm going to say that probably the stress of everything probably gave him a heart attack.
Probably.
And,
did he have surgery because of his injuries, and then that gave him a heart attack? You know what I mean? There could be a host of reasons. I think he was fine sitting at a red light until you hit
probably.
him. Right.
Seems like it. He wasn't like calling 911 at the time saying he was having a heart attack, but nothing to do with my seizure. So that's a breadcrumb she's dropping.
Fascinating.
Seizure. Put it out there. The family is suing Sytch and her partner. Like we said, they're seeking over $30,000. So they're not seeking like punitive damages.
Yeah.
They're seeking medical costs and funeral costs and shit like that, probably, and probably car repairs, I would assume.
Yeah.
So anyway, also one more thing we want to go over, because it's the most shown to us thing ever in the history of crime and sports on the internet, is Mike Tyson punching the shit out of this guy on the plane.
Awesome.
Great stuff. Now, you might say to yourself, gentlemen, weren't you guys so against Will Smith smacking Chris Rock, but this is okay? Yes, they're very different. One is a man on a stage who was told to fucking be there, who's allowed to perform his art on the stage, and someone got mad at it like a little fucking baby and ran up there and played Scientologist that needed to slap somebody, because that's what the fuck he is, and that's why he did it.
Yeah.
So he could go back to the Scientology meeting with his chin up high and fucking... That way, when he sucks Miss Cavage's dick next time, he can really, the balls will bounce right off his chin. You know what I mean? So that's probably the other way around, actually. Oh, by the way, allegedly. Sorry, Scientology, allegedly. So
this one is a man minding his own business,
trying to fly, which is not a fun. And that's don't fuck with people on planes.
Right.
I can't express this enough to you. If you're a person who who anyway is like, hey, get the fuck away from me, and then you're on a plane, which is an edgy situation, and someone fucks with you, you deserve the biggest beating you can get, and they should just roll you down the steps when they get there. Just open the fucking thing and roll you out.
I feel terrible that Mike Tyson's flying fucking commercial.
Yeah, well, he's not like flying private money. He's going around to do tours and shit. He doesn't have that kind of money.
You're probably right.
Yeah, he's,
They do have those those charter planes that are like a pool of money, but you can only use it so many times. You know what I mean? It's like a timeshare.
I've heard of that
before.
I've heard of that before. That's weird.
But you can't do that with Mike Tyson as much as he flies, probably.
Yeah.
But if you're a dildo and you've got a seat behind Mike Tyson, just be like, this plane's not going to go down because Mike Tyson's right there. Just be thankful.
How about, I'm pretty sure that if anybody gets squirrely on this shit, we're good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm not going to be the one that gets squirrely.
Dude with a box cutter, I'll take Mike in a street fight over a guy with a box cutter any fucking day. We just put Mike up by the cockpit and have him be like, let's go, bitches, come on. And he just fucking punches them one at a time as they come at him. So you could do that, but this guy, I saw the thing, he's fucking with him.
He's needling him. Yeah.
He's needling him. He's fucking asking for an ass kicking. And you know what? Public is not social media.
No.
That's the thing. Right. You can call someone, oh, you're a fucking twat, you're a cunt. You do. Right. But in real life, you'd never say that shit to Mike Tyson unless your brain has been so rotted by fucking social media that you don't even realize that real life exists anymore. You think it's all social media. You thought you were typing those words to Mike Tyson.
And with castle doctrine, shit, man, in an airplane, your bubble has to be so big that where I can be threatened. I should be, my castle should be 6 rows deep. If you do anything in those rows, I'm beating the fuck out of you because this is an airplane.
You and I have this absolute rule. If I'm on a plane and somebody is disrupting anything, I take my heavy book bag and I wallop them in the fucking head with it until someone pulls me off of them. That's what I do. I beat you to death if that's the fucking what it takes for you to stop making this dangerous, because I'm scared of flying. So when I'm up there, You be chill, let them do their fucking jobs, and we're all going to land. You fuck this up, I'm not going to die. You will. We'll put it that way.
His face after was pretty fantastic.
Oh, it was. It was.
Some red marks on his face.
Oh.
Some deep contusions beneath the skin.
Fucking idiot. And it turns out he's a jackass, too. He has like an extensive record and all this shit,
Of course
too.
he is. Of course
He's a
he
fucking
does.
jackass. Yeah. He's an idiot, this guy. So
Deserved it. Got it. Call it good.
Deserved it. Got it. I have no problem with that whatsoever.
Hopefully
Mike,
you learned a lesson.
For the most part, well, we'll put it this way. In his history with males anyway, if you don't fuck with him, he doesn't fuck with you.
Yeah.
If you fuck with him,
Yeah.
he will beat the shit out of you, period. That's it, and that's all. Ask Mitch Blood Green what his face looked like. So anyway, that is a Mike Tyson update. You wanted to know how we feel about it. We love it.
Yeah.
I love Mike Tyson, and I thought it was a beautiful move.
I wish
I
I had a hook like he does because I'd do the same thing.
Fuck, man, from that close proximity to him, like
God,
that short little Joe Frazier hook serves him well in that proximity. I'll tell you what, good stuff.
He can't get away from me here.
Nope, and there's no room to even crank your body. So that guy's lucky. Tyson didn't even crank. He didn't even torque his hips.
Nothing.
He was just popping him with fucking arm strength.
That's
he
all
torqued his
shoulders and
hips.
biceps.
Yeah, he'd have destroyed him. So anyway, can't get enough of this whole thing. Well, you can buy some fancy seats and drive around in Florida and stop at stoplights and hope not to get rear-ended by Tammy. And if you see Mike Tyson on a plane, leave him the motherfucker alone. I think that's fair.
That'll do it.
That'll do it. So that said, I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, tell the world about it. Mm-hmm. Get on whatever platform you're listening to and give us 5 stars and say some shit. We don't care what you say. Say something nice about the show. Tell us what your opinion on peanut butter and jelly sandwiches is. I'd like to know what kind of jelly you prefer. Yeah. Seeds, no seeds, strawberry, raspberry, grape.
Preserves.
Let's hear what you got. Preserves? You want some marmalade? What are you looking for on your shit? So tell us that. Maybe that'll help. But otherwise, head over to shutupandgivememurder.com to get all of your tickets to live shows coming up. They're all over the place, and including May the 5th, the virtual live show. My goodness, it's going to be so much fun. That is Small Town Murder. We set it up just like a theater show, the screen, the table, the whole deal exactly the same. Yeah. We do everything. The only difference is you're in your house instead of in a theater, or you're in your car in a field. I don't give a shit where you are. Listen to the show, hang out with us. It's available May the 5th and then 72 hours after that. So you can purchase it later, you can purchase it then, you can watch it as many times as you want. You can do whatever you want with it and have a lot of fun with it because we're going to have a blast with it.
That's
Check
next
that
week.
Out. That is. We can't wait. May the 5th coming up real fast here. So that's shutupandgivememurder.com. That's where you get all your merchandise and everything else, too. It's all there, goddammit. You can do it. And if you're not listening to Small Town Murder, what the fuck are you doing?
No.
Where you don't have you don't have a recipe for groundhog, I bet. And if you don't,
to say to me.
if you wonder why, if you're not wondering why Jimmy Dean doesn't have a fucking groundhog patty, then you're not listening to Small Town Murder and you're missing out hard. So check that out. Please do that. Follow us on social media as well. We are at Crime and Sports on Twitter and Facebook, at Small Town Murder on Instagram. Mm-hmm. You can follow us and have all sorts of fun and all that. Patreon, holy shit. Yeah. Patreon.com/Crime and Sports is so good. And this week, amazing stuff as usual. Anybody $5 or above, you get access to everything. All of Crime and Sports bonus episodes, all of Small Town Murder bonus episodes, and even the whole back catalog, hundreds of episodes. It's fun stuff. Get in there right now. This week, you're going to get the new episodes for Crime and Sports. You're going to get the story of the fabulous Moolah. Yeah. Not really her story. All of the accusations of her grossness, really. And
the not
we'll try
fabulous part.
Try to find out if there's any truth to it or whatever. Not that we would know, but they sound pretty credible. I got to be honest. Everybody does. It sounds pretty gross. So speaking of gross, for Small Town Murders, we're going to talk about some cool Jeffrey Dahmer shit. Not that there's anything cool with what he did, but we have found some really weird stuff that I want to discuss about how he got caught, how he didn't get caught, which is the most important part of many different things leading up to that, and then how the whole thing around the time he got caught, what he did, it's all very weird. So we're going to talk about it and get in. You know how we do those in detail. Remember that?
So specific.
Yeah, so specific. So much fun. You know the story. 8 people, fridge in the head in the fridge and all that. we'll talk about the details of it there. That is patreon.com/crime and sports. And if you just want to make a donation and get your shout out, which you'll also get if you do Patreon, you can do that over at PayPal using our email address, crimeinsports@gmail.com. Now, quickly, before we do the shout-outs here, you might notice that your shout-outs are a week behind.
Yeah.
We have to do a week ahead episodes for the Wondery Plus, and you don't have to get that, by the way. All the episodes will come out in regular time if you don't want it, whatever. So, so we have to, the way we do it, we read the shouts one week and they go out the next week. So the shouts, if you sign up one week, you're going to get it like the next week. You'll hear the shout out. So that's all we're saying there. So that said, I think it's time, Jimmy. I would like to hear the list of people who would never, ever, ever stuff cocaine into our hydraulic pumps or whatever the fuck that was, who would never rear end us with their 2012 fucking Mercedes, and who would never, ever bother us from behind on a plane. These amazing people. Jimmy, hit me with that list.
This week's executive producers are Lisa Coltrane. Happy birthday, by the way.
Happy birthday.
And she asks that people go to bethematch.com and see if they can be bone marrow donors. See what you can do to save some people's lives. Do it.
That's a nice idea. That really is.
Other executive producers are Jennifer Justice Thompson. Happy birthday. Ben Blake is my personal hero. Heather Norton, Jordan Bennett, Amora Mayo Perez. She's looking for impressions, James, so you have to sing That's Amore, I'm told. I don't know. Do you know anything about it?
That's Amore.
There it is.
Of course I am. A fucking guinea.
All right.
I know. It's Dean Martin, for Christ's sake.
Karen Hensel, Jordan Bennett. Did I say? I did. Yeah, there's also Jordan with no last name. And Adina Hill and Carlos Flores. Thank you guys so much for everything you do for us. It cannot be duplicated. Other producers are also Jess Quinney Moon. That's it. Happy birthday, Jess. Tiffany Gonzalez got her baby out of her.
Yank it out. Good job.
In a hospital and everything. Congrats, Tiff.
Wow, nice work.
Kieran White in the UK, Liz Vasquez, Peyton Meadows, Laura Boyka Warizniak. I think James Martyr, Judge Chamberlain Holler. Who is that?
That's Fred Gwynn and my cousin Vinny.
That's right.
Judge Chamberlain Holler.
Right. Yeah. Happy Hour in Washington, PA. Thomas Smith, Frank the South African Birdwasher, David Wienerstein, Catherine Collado, Robbie Buckmeyers. Did you say Ute?
What is a Ute? What is a Ute? Sorry. I apologize.
Robbie Buckmeyer's girlfriend, Elia. I think Elia. Janice Hill, Carly Poe. Thank you, Carly. That was sweet. Samantha Quigley, happy birthday. Andrew Welmers, happy birthday. Heather Beauchamp's son, Roger Thomas. I didn't know his name last time. I called him Thomas. I don't know. Happy birthday, Roger.
Happy birthday, Roger.
Thomas.
Thanks, Heather.
Valerie Landowski, Azalea Selden, Gabby Smith, Jennifer Wangan, Jody Cook, Casey Mitchell, Allison with no last name, Madison had a baby eats a boy. Oh, Jesus. Lucas with no last name, Paula Bryan, Chris Pierce, Maureen Ingold, Sarah Taylor, Jason Sarmiento, Daniel Lee, Rachel Byford, Molly Campbell, Daniel Hansen, Nicholas Medina, Eduardo Sanchez, Margaret Dobner, Shanice Blackshear. I want to name my daughter Penis and tell everybody it's pronounced Penise.
Penise Westman. There she is.
That's my daughter Penise. Emily Nash, Beth Scott, Brian Burdick, Randallyn Halada.
My daughter Vagina. Here she is. She's beautiful. Sorry. Jade Thompson, Ian Elliott, Melody Dorman, Aaron and Emily, Tom with no last name, Aileen Heaton, Vicky with no last name, Tierney Honeyborn, Trav with no last name, Quinn B, Christina Wise, yes, Brett Shields, Sarah Kirk, Finch Clybourne, J41E Henriquez. That may be an address. John Country Fried Groundhog Williams, no last name. Trey with no last name. Anthony Walters, Jack Parrott, Tara Farner. Oh, boy. Danny De La Cruz, Jeep Ford, Caitlin with no last name, Nick Scott, 123 Coletta. That might be an address also. Jeez.
I can't tell. Amber Nicole, Mark Calabrese, Groundhogs for Breakfast, Sarah Digger Mency. I dig it too. Ari Nelson, R. Thornton, Bethany Ramsey, Carrie Ochoa, Bailey Rudolph, Michael Hardy, Whitney Vey, Devin with no last name, Mike Koziel, Andrew Nicolin, Barrett Milam, Ashley Wyckoff, David Reynolds, Kyle Loney, Noah Thomas, Jonathan Parker, Diedrich Logan, Jennifer Olson, Ava I, Kirsten Shockley, Jordan Elfer, Tanner Dyke. I don't know. I'm sorry, Tanner. That's a tough last name. Either way, it's no fun.
No, either way, it's not a walk in the park for you, Tanner. That's the problem.
Liz with no last name, Christy Zrust, Lauren Ashmore, Brandon Crump, Cynthia Caruso, Nicole Weir, Lizzie Carignan, David with no last name, Tara Love, Christy Hall, Beth Hines, Ben Cousins, probably not, Dan with no last name, Peter, I hope it is, Peter Green, Rob Dean, Logan Jackson, Jennifer Carter, Destiny Benbow, Arden Thorne, 5, or plural, Austin Stewart, Gabriella Trainer, Kylie Noonan, Tyler Shad, Rachel Reading, Kelly Newland, Gian Su, Ellie Godecki, Tara with no last name, Abby Houston, Jake Jacobs, Evelyn Hampton, Darren Walt, David Beebe, Collie McGuire, Christy Aloysius. Aloisi, Riley Montblow, gay, black, Jewish, Nazi for Christ in Canada. That feels awful to say out loud. Sears Spears, Tremaine with no last name, Andrea LaFond, Blair Osgood, Jamal Evans, Ashley Stevens, Sarah with no last name, Brent Fox, I Am Legend, Donnie Thomason, Shannon E. Z with no last name, Isaac Evita Torres, Patrick Lull, I think, Kayla Pretty, Michelle Miller, Michelle Hill, that's what that is, Jean Reichsteiner. Rex Steiner? That feels terrible to say out loud. Vinter
John,
D.
Italian. John.
Yeah. Ella Dire Yanni.
Wow.
Jay Cable, Aaron McCullum, Callie Davis, Allie Fowler, Bethany Cassidy, Jared with no last name, Katie Kovics, Cade maybe, Michelle Tran, Gavin Fossman, John Martin, Cheyenne Edwards, Elizabeth Hayden, Arturo Rodriguez, Jack Peak, Alice Vasovic, George Vaughn III, Brooklyn Spears, Thomas Oberhart, Angela Barron, Jeremy Edwards, Nell Marsroka, Queen Anne and her monkey and her cat monkey. I don't know if it's a cat named Monkey or if she's got a cat monkey.
Monkey.
Megan Richards, Kate M, Jenny Ellis, Veronica McCann, Shell Murdoch, Amber Richards, Celine A. Bray, Bob Rossman, David Bezieff, Jessica Briggs, Anna Tiveri, Ethan Woods, Russell Turner, Lance Pearson, Jessica O'Dowd, Sarah King, Alicia Medina, R. Mars, Brianna Forsyth, Jennifer Braun, Leslie Waddington, Samantha Cataldo, Stasha Swab, Jennifer Ellsworth, Tyler Boyd, Natty Piedra, Raven D, K6A6, R6I. That may be an address.
Whoa,
Krista
again, I think
Zometa.
it's an address. Like a hopscotch code or something. I don't know.
We may have just given somebody a code somewhere to do something terrible. We have no idea.
I think so. Yeah,
Angela
we just
Thomas.
activated Reggie Jackson. That's not good.
Lindsay Sweet, Stephen Brandt, Talking Murder with My Mother, Tish Gopel, Kyle Francis, Katie Dorbin, Jordan with no last name, Erica Clark, Michael with no last name, Jason Robbins, Autumn Nicely, Lakeisha Maxer, Kylie Keenan, Josette Tabor, it might be Mr. Tabor's wife, daughter. Tabor.
Sweet.
Shannon Copeland and all of our patrons, you guys are fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everybody, for all that you do for us. We are hoping that you're loving the content on Patreon because that's why we make it, so you like it. That's it. So hope you're liking that. Sounds like you are, so we're very happy. We'll keep doing it.
Yeah.
And if you want to get a hold of us personally, very easy to do that. You can find us. We'll find the shows first, and then you can find us. Go to shutupandgivememurder.com.
There you go.
There's links to our social media. There's links to tickets. There's links to everything on there.
Find everything.
You can Patreon even. You can find it all from
Big
Shut Up
boys
and
and
Give
girls.
Me.
Yeah.
shutupandgivememurder.com. That said, it's been a wild week.
Yeah.
Next week, we have an NFL player who, it's a crazy-ass episode. And then after that, Diego Maradona.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff coming up. Hope you enjoy and stick around and get tickets to the virtual live show. That said, live from the Crime and Sports Studios, we will see you next week.
Bye.
If you like crime and sports, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.